He coming. Hey, let's go.
What up? What up?
We live in the building. 3 minutes. Good evening, everybody. You can hear us, we can hear you. Welcome to the dopest show in the land.
It's Thursday night. It's gonna be all right. We got topics and we're gonna talk night. Yeah, tried to freestyle, didn't go well. I'm gonna stick to producing.
That's fact. I'm going to stick to what I do best. I need to switch some things around. I don't even know why I got this phone plugged in. I don't need it. I can plug it in right there. Oh, you know what? I can keep that up. Oh.
I'm glad you have chosen to spend your Thursday night with this distinguished group of gentlemen. Chris Davis, Shannon Rawls, myself, Colin Hardiman, Clifford Clark, Darryl Bailey, Jerron Brown, Jamal Dixon, Robert Longmire, Ahid Muhammad, Steve Robinson, Trill Anthony C., and Mr. Wes Stewart. This is Ask a Black Man Anything, and we are always glad to have you all here. I've always wanted to use my radio voice, and now I'm doing it. So I already have your questions prepared. Hopefully you have your makeup did. Fellas, make sure you have your beard straight. Make sure you have your hair cut. And come on and ask some questions. Ask the Black Man anything. Come on, say, ask us anything.
Welcome, everybody. Okay. Hey, am I still lagging, good sir?
Nope, you're good.
Sweet. What the fuck? What's going on, my brother? Welcome, everybody. Hello, Mr. Awesome, Black Pearl Incorporated. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Mike G, salute, good sir. How are you? Welcome, everybody, to episode 17 of Ask a Black Man Anything. I need to see if we are live on the Clubhouse.
No, I'm setting up Clubhouse now.
I had a feeling you was going to do it. You on the air? We are live, sir.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Shan. I haven't turned my camera on yet. My bros is here. Colin, Chris, everybody else is coming. I'm setting up the Clubhouse simulcast. So y'all just chop it up. I'll be here in just a second.
Oh, I can see when I move it. Yeesh. Mr. Hardiman.
Hello.
Vegan, what's going on?
Hello, Vegan.
Nah, it ain't too early for my Sunday best.
Never too
early. Princess, you definitely get a cookie. And this is not my Sunday best. This is my Thursday threads. So, man, you know what? I'm gonna do that. So I actually have this thing I started a hashtag on Instagram called Sunday Threads, where I would always post, whatever my latest outfit of the day, because your boy was looking fly. So they're saying this is Sunday's best, but I'm not one of those fellas that wears khakis and a button-down polo, authentic polo, to church. You're gonna see me suited and booted. So that's how I roll. Shit.
Suited and booted. Suited and booted.
We know that you definitely not gonna make it to be a rap star.
Whatever, Chris.
Question for you, man. How is the missus?
Mrs. as well. Yeah, we're still having our daily talks and having a great time. She introduced me to a lot of new Afro beats music, and we had a jam session. Huh?
I said okay.
Yeah, so we had our own little jam session today, and it was good. So yeah, it's been really great.
That's dope. I'm here for it.
She has a birthday coming up too.
Is that are you going back over there for the birthday, or is it going to be a virtual birthday?
No, Chris, we can't be telling secrets on a live show now. she might be watching.
She ain't watching. Let me see if she on Clubhouse. She ain't even online. Oh wait, yes she is.
Top of the evening, Mr. O.
She's in Black Women. She's in a room on Clubhouse. So
okay, yeah,
I will.
But still,
no,
she can go back and watch this. She can still.
You're right. She can. She can. I tell you what, man. I've been viewing my dating adventures. Sierra's Prayer. You're actually going to hear, Mr. Awesome. You're going to hear about Sierra's Prayer just a little bit. So we will update you on what that is. But my dating experiences have been really interesting. I was sharing with my barber, and I was actually doing some reflection as to why I have not been able to be in a sustained relationship. But I get really great quality women. And I was going to blame myself and thinking that, there was something wrong with me. But intrinsically, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just that I met good matches. They just weren't the right one for me. And so while dating is definitely a journey and it's an experience, I am enjoying the process. Some people think that because I multi-date and I share vividly my experiences, Colin, that people think that I'm not serious. They think that, like I've had one person say, my best friend said, well, how are you going to ever find a match if you're always adding new people? Well, here's the thing. If one person leaves for their own personal reasons, I have to add a new person, right? I'm not going to fight a person to stay. So my dating journey has been crazily good. And I think I am closer to making a solid decision. So I've had some great catches. So yeah.
Okay, Chris. So you said I heard decision. So does this mean you're picking between a number of candidates, or is there just one?
No hablo inglés.
Oh, okay. ¿Cómo estás?
No, yes, I will be picking from a number of candidates. Absolutely, yes.
Whew. A number of candidates, he says.
Mm-hmm. An unspoken number. It could be 1, it could be 5, it could be 3, it could be 10. Just an unspoken number.
He's blessed, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that. Just saying that it's an unspoken number.
His cup runneth over. He has options to choose from. Yes. Decisions.
It's been a journey, I want to definitely have matching pajamas by Christmas.
That's right around the corner, Chris.
I know. So, these women better get, the woman better get her act together, So, all right, because clearly it's not me, It's not me. It's definitely not me. Vegan C says she's not watching. Well, she might watch the replay, so we got to be very, very keen on what we do and don't say. So, very, very keen.
So
I'm
looking forward to tonight's show. Though we had a little break last week. We was able to rest up and get caught up on some good rest and things like that. So once again, we're glad to have everyone here. We will be getting started. Well, we are started already.
We are started. We are in this piece. Think about getting a couple of cosmetic things done too. So not like weight loss or anything like that. So, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to share. I think I want to go and buy Dave Chappelle tickets.
Gonna be in the ATL.
Yeah, the 21st. I'm trying to wonder, does it matter if I get the tickets and I sit where I want to sit, or if I'm just in the building? So I'm trying to figure that out.
How many levels of tickets are there?
3, I think. But they're not like levels. They're like, there's like floor, and then there's like down here, and then there's like up here. It's in like a basketball arena. So I don't know.
All right. Our producer, Shannon, he's busy in the background, but he will be on shortly. All the other fellows will be joining us shortly. But how's everyone's week been? Tell us in the chat, how's your week been? Chris, how's your week been?
Interesting, actually. So the greater part of the week, okay, boom. The greater part of the week has actually been okay, but today was a little bit more challenging than most. My son was in an accident. He's okay. Nothing major, but I think anytime, my kids are injured, of course, it is of grave importance for me to be concerned. And then my baby, the one that I share, I don't really share my kids often on social media, but he comes to me literally with these doting eyes, and he just always wants a hug. He fell at the school. He's 11, so it's not like he's a baby, but I call him my baby. He fell at the school, and he fell on concrete. Of course, that had my mind like, why didn't your school call me? So. But other than that, it's been a good week business-wise. Just added some more new team members. So that's good. I have learned this week and last week, within the last 7 days, to really keep my emotions in check when it comes to dating. I'm also, I don't have my actual book. My whole book. Say what?
So you got the digital copy.
No, and so that is just the cover photo. So boom. I don't know if you can see it, good people.
Ultimate Betting Guide.
Yep, that's gonna be that's my next book that I got coming out. It's a workbook. It was gonna be this. Let me see if I can tell you that. But I changed the guide to gold. So because I don't know. I like that better. So
I like that.
So yeah, man. The gold standard of vetting. It's a workbook designed to help you find the love life that you want. It also allows you to take the emotion out of dating. So many people go into dating and they make decisions off of their emotions. Oh, and they'll say things like, "Oh, I love the vibe," but they don't love his character or they don't know his or her character. And you really want to date a person that has good moral character because that is something that you can make decisions off of versus just dating someone because they look good, they feel right, or it feels right. And you don't just want to do the feel right type person. You want to do the I can live with this person if they never change. And those are just some of the things that are in the workbook. My goal is to have it out by before Black Friday. And I just sent it to my editor tonight so that she can make some final edits and or make some edits and then send them back to me. It's not a lot of writing. It's really going to be more for you to write in. It's kind of almost a journal, $10 for you to, scribble some pertinent information on a person that you're getting to know. I think it's absolutely important for those in the dating journey to to know what they're getting into before they're getting into it. So excited about that. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. What about yourself, man? Oh man, did we fire up Clubhouse, sir? Am I behind?
Yeah, Clubhouse is live.
Hey.
You just gotta jump in. Here you are.
Let me put it in my ear. I'm in love with the cocoa. Man, we are back at it. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah,
what up? Princess is here. RCC 72. She, Mr. Awesome. What the Funk is back. A brother of a certain age. What's good, bro?
And speaking of Mr. Hardiman.
Yeah.
Yep. Should be on YouTube.
Audio. I'm not hearing audio though.
Yeah, there's no simulcast, Shan.
Huh?
It's not. There's no audio on Clubhouse.
No.
Nope.
No audio. Yeah.
No, Wes, you need to be on this side of the screen and not on that side of the screen. Thank you, Shawan. Sorry, Queen. I don't get a chance to actually look at the chat. I am popping between screens, popping between several things. What the Funk? I want to audio. There it is. What the Funk? I want to when we get ready to go live, I'm gonna call you up, man. I wanna say something, man. Funniest thing happened in the last 2 weeks when we were away. I want to I appreciate you, Mr. Awesome. Shout out to Mr. Awesome for the $5 super chat. Yeah, so it was like a hit and run. And it's crazy, man. I don't understand how you don't stop to check to see if somebody is okay after you hit them. But man, that is immoral in my behavior. So yep, I am glad that
yeah, glad your son is okay too, Chris.
Thank you. This is actually the second accident in less than 45 days. My first son was hit and he was hospitalized in a hit and run, but he was jaywalking, so it was kind of his fault. Kids are impulsive, whatever, and they make really, really bad decisions. So there's that. God bless my kids. So God bless my kids. Need to come to.
Chris,
Yep,
did you go off camera? Are you still here?
I did not. I don't know what happened. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Quick question. So, what would you say is, with the Ultimate Vetting Guide coming out Black Friday, what would you say is the, I guess, steps people should take towards dating? Because I think everybody would agree that the dating market is trash. That's all we hear is the dating market is trash. So it seems like everyone's approaching dating wrong. So what would you say how would they need to proceed with dating? What are steps they need to take?
Well, actually, that's a great question. Thank you, and in fact, for asking that. So, I think that with what you just said, that leads into what people need to do first. I think before people do anything, they need to have the right mindset about dating. If you believe that dating is trash, your dating life will be trash. You can only, there's a quote, I'm trying to think of it. You cannot outgrow your own level of thinking. It's a quote, something like that. I can't remember it. I'll go and find it before in the next, couple of minutes. But basically, if your thinking is at a level 3, you will never be at a level 10, right? So if you think that the dating market is trash, then you'll believe and you'll only get trash. You'll get some filtered in good, but because you're so used to trash, your thought process is everything that comes to me is trash, or there's pee in the dating pool, then that's what you're gonna get with. There's this thing that I watched and it's years ago, and it's called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. It is used primarily by all of the really good dating coaches. Any good dating coach will tell you that it starts with the mind. And basically, NLP is reprogramming your mind to think a different way than you currently think. Right? So if you think it's bad, stop thinking it's bad and start thinking that it's good. And what will happen is the universe, the world, God, whatever words you want to place in there, will bring good to you. Right? That's the first thing that you need before you step out, before you meet somebody, before you get yourself in order, before you get your life in order, before you heal. Your mind needs to be right, because even if you're broken, right, and you're in a broken state and your mindset is still the dating market is trash, nothing will work for you. I mean, it's almost like wow, I'm gonna throw this out there. We all remember when we were kids, the engine that said, I think I can, I think I can. Imagine how much better for that story if the engine would have said, I know I can, I'm already doing it. What kind of message would that send to a person or to a child, right? It's no longer, I think I can, because in your mind, you might be able to believe it, but you might not be able to actually transition into it. But if you start to believe I can do it, then that presents a different set of life circumstances. The universe will bring things to you. Healing will become quicker. Better candidates will come. And I'll be the first to tell you that I had trash candidates in 2017 and 2018. I didn't get better candidates until I started thinking differently in 2019. I was in a relationship for a year. The relationship was pretty good. It ended. We went our separate ways. She is a phenomenal woman. And every woman after that, I learned a lesson. And this is, I guess the second part, the next step that you do. Every person that you meet, learn something about yourself. I learned a lesson about myself, and it helped me to get to a better position to where I can say, okay, I am ready to make a choice because I no longer have to address the triggers. Now, it's different for every person. And I'll say that because I'm coming from a marriage of 15 years. And so I didn't date like people who have never been married before. So my advice is a little different. In my, I had a conversation earlier today that someone pointed out their relationships are different because they've never been married before. But I will tell you that the first thing that you need to do is you need to get your mind right. If your mind is wrong, everything else is wrong. Um, and yep, internal
Yeah,
work. People call it
especially when it
shadow
comes to
work.
work.
I don't like shadow work. Go ahead, Colin. I'm sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with you. So that, what I got from that was, yeah, definitely do the internal work. And I think that's what's happening in the dating market is just people just having bad experiences and they're jumping straight into another relationship, not doing that internal work. So it's like they're just going to the next relationship broken and it piles on and piles on and piles on. So also, just the power of the mind and then the power of the mouth. So yeah, you definitely manifest what's in your heart because what's in your heart will eventually come out. Uh, so there's power in words. So it's just like, yeah, if you're putting negative energy out there, if you're saying you can't do something, that's exactly what you're going to manifest. That's exactly what the universe is going to bring. So just having that abundance mindset and speaking things into existence, it's a real thing. There's power in your words. So yeah, definitely doing that internal work. I think it's a good step for everyone to take. First step.
It's
Yeah.
funny that
So
what the funk and Mr. Awesome in the chat, they said that they don't like the word manifest. A lot of people don't like certain words. They're like, Mr. What the funk said he don't like it because women ruined it. Because there are women out there trying to
listen,
manifest their men. But I don't necessarily.
that's one of the
I
most
think
overused words outside of COVID in 2020, 2021. Outside of COVID, it's one of the most overused words. Manifest. Manifest your man. Like you can't manifest nothing if you still jacked up, and that's the thing. So I'll tell you from the masculine side, right? Some things that a man should do. A man should have his finances in order. Um, and it doesn't mean that you have to have everything in order, but you at least need to not be going in the red every month, right? A man should have his family in order, meaning, and this might hurt, but you need to have a good relationship with the mother of your children. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with her, but you need to have a good relationship with the mother of your children if you have children. And the reason why is because women will not date a man who will bash another woman. Because what they will say to themselves is, when we break up, will he be bashing me? That's what they'll say. And
I think
some women will
but is
actually
that women
say it
only, or
to you.
is that across the board? Isn't that across the board?
So here's the thing:
I teach people to not
men
do
don't
business
think
with
like
people.
that.
Yeah, well, are you sure? Okay, so here's what you're saying. So what you're saying is that women won't date another guy if that guy is bashing his ex, right? I was told, had to be 25 years ago, don't do business with somebody who's talking shit about their last business partner, because eventually they'll talk shit about you. And so I've been re-preaching that for the last 20 years. Don't do business. It's part of the things that I talk about on my entrepreneurship side of my podcast and in the members area. And so I tell people, I said, listen, if you think about embarking upon a business with somebody, or you thinking about doing a partnership or doing a collab or hooking up with somebody in business, maybe you guys want to connect, throw some money in on something and create something. If they talking shit about the last business partner they had and really with no merit, then you probably want to rethink or maybe reevaluate the nature of your association with that person, because the odds are they're going to talk shit about you. Their integrity isn't necessarily there. Now, Chris, are you saying in your journey, because you're more of a dating coach than me, are you saying that men don't really tend to have a problem with listening to women complain about their last ex-boyfriend?
So I think that it's more like 70-30, right? Because men are problem solvers, right? Men will take what your last boyfriend or last husband did, and we'll say, "Oh, okay, we're not going to do that," and we'll fix that in ourselves. Now, and I'm not saying all men. I'm saying men of a certain standard, men of a certain caliber, men of a certain level of astuteness. They'll take what they heard from the woman, and they'll say, "Oh, damn, he never took you out on dates." We're like, "Okay," and she's complaining about what didn't go right. So we'll say, "Okay, well, let me fix these things because we're fixers, right?" If she says, "Well, he never hugged me, he never comforted me, he never told me I was pretty, he never," that won't happen on a regular basis because we as men will say, "You know what? Let me not repeat the actions of the last idiot that lost this great woman."
Got
We
it.
will
No, I
fix
agree.
it,
I concede to that.
and we'll continue the trend. Now, here's the fault with some men. Some men will fix it, and it'll be a temporary fix because they haven't made it a part of their character. When you make it a part of your character and not just a thing that you do, then it's something that's a permanent fix, which is why women talk about the representative. Women will say men will bring their representative, meaning they'll show the great qualities up front for 90 days and then they'll fall off. But the thing is, a quality man will make those things a part of his character. And so if he does it in month one, he'll do it in month 18. For example, if a woman is going out of town and a man wants to show himself as a provider, he may give her, 150, 200, whatever, some money to make sure that she's taken care of so that whatever she had already budgeted, she can now add that to her current budget, right? If a woman is at a man's house and they're talking and her nails are not done, a man of a certain quality that's trying to be in a relationship, a long-standing relationship, in month 1, month 3, month 15, will see that woman's nails and say, "Okay, you know what? Let me shoot you some money. Baby, go get your nails done." Because he wants her to be maintained at a certain level because this is what a quality man will do,
All right.
right?
Let me
So
turn this
that's
on
the
its head.
reason why
Let
I
me
say
turn it.
some.
That's where you might say something. Got you. Let me flip it on its head. I'll I'll put up. I'll make a post on Instagram. Right. I'll make a post on Instagram. Man, I don't remember the last time I had a home cooked meal because I literally do not remember the last time. Okay, like so, both grandmas, right? Of my sons, they'll make some stuff and they'll prepare for the boys, right? And so we'll have some of the grandma's food because I watch my sons every weekend, no weekends off. We're 50-50 on that. And so we eat, grandma be cooking it up and we'll heat up the food and we'll have that. But I don't cook. I don't know how to cook, right? I just don't. That's just one of the things. I'm an amazing guy. I know how to do a whole bunch of shit. Cooking isn't one of them, right? So now here's the question. If I put a post up on Instagram, if I put a post up on Instagram and I'll be like, "Yo, man, I don't remember the last time I had I'll get like people, you get ladies and they're always out of state. It's never nobody local and shit, right? It's always somebody from fucking Atlanta or Florida or Chicago or some shit. "Oh, you haven't had a home cooked meal? You haven't had anybody like a fresh home cooked meal?" I'm talking about go to the grocery store, get the ingredients, go to the fucking go get the fresh fish or go get the fresh meat and cook it up and have and frying it up and fresh home cooked meal. I cannot remember the last time I had. It's been years that I've had that. No woman has done that, right? Now, are you saying, Chris, if I say, "Man, in my past relationships, women just didn't cook, man. Women just didn't cook for me. I can't get a woman to cook for me." Or if a guy says, let's talk about like sexual issues. Like, man, my last girl, she didn't give me blowjobs like I really like blowjobs, but she didn't give me blowjobs like I like. Is that gonna make a woman say, "Oh, he's talking shit about his ex, I don't want to fuck with him"? Or is that gonna make a woman want to step up and say, "Oh, Shannon don't get that. Shannon hasn't had a woman that know how to cook for him. Let me cook a home. Let me go whip up something." And then suddenly I'm surprised by a woman that I'm dating or somebody that's trying to court me. Or are they going to look at that as me talking shit about my ex, and then that may be something I shouldn't do in the future? Should I say what my exes didn't do for me? Should I stop saying that because that may push women away? Or should I say that because women want to step up and actually, be encouraged to do the things that somebody else didn't do for me?
So a great way to flip it. Women are generally not fixers; they're nurturers. So you have to give them something in order for them to make something out of it. So if you give them negative, they'll make something out of it, right? But if you give them something positive, they'll make something out of it. So if you remember, I just said a moment ago, NLP, neuro linguistic programming. It's almost like mind games to some people. But if you say to a woman, I love the fact that you can cook and I love to taste this, whatever meal that you make, I guarantee you, boom, they will do that faster than like, for example, young lady I was dating, I'm telling myself a little bit. Pray to God she never watches the show. Um, she said, I can make a mean turkey leg.
I'm
Said,
listening. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the messages
oh,
on the screen. Go ahead.
okay, yeah, I'll pull it up later. She said, man, I can make a mean turkey leg. I said, look, I look forward to you cooking for me. And I left it alone. Now it's in her mind that when I get the opportunity, I'm going to take care of this man because all I'm doing is just giving her a positive seed, right? Same woman, and I shared with her one day. I said, man, I love just cooking together. That does something for me. Invited her to the house. We started cooking. I started cooking salmon. The kids were making pizza, and we were having salmon and asparagus. I'm helping the kids. I turn around and I'm helping the kids, and we're in the kitchen talking. Kids are making pizza, and she just happens to come in the kitchen, and she flipping the salmon, putting salt on the putting the kosher salt on the pink lemon Himalayan salt on the asparagus. I'm like, women will pay attention to you, but you got to give them something. And the more positive you give, the more positive, like affirming words they'll eat that alive and they'll literally live off of that. So they're not fixers per se. That's what we were created for. And I'll say this, and if you go to my Instagram is the real _ Chris Davis. If you go to my Instagram and just kind of scroll through it, I'm going to give you a bonus as a guy, something that will change your dating life or your relationships forever. When a woman is venting or she's telling you a problem, whatever the case is, this is like a, whatever you want to call it. Like it's a golden gem, right? I believe it because I've tried it like a million times. When she's talking to you and you're listening and she's venting and she's telling you what's wrong, maybe it's an issue that you can fix. Ask her, do you want me to fix it or do you just want me to listen? And if you do that, I promise you, that woman will have you will be hooked in her forever. Because generally, men always want to just dive in and fix right away. But it now puts her in power to say, dang, he's actually listening to me. And if she says, just listen, just freaking listen. I had to learn that. But I'm telling you, fellas, if y'all try that, whew, life-changing, game-changing type stuff. Anyways, the real _ Chris Davis on Instagram. Check me out.
I can co-sign. I'll say I can co-sign. I have meals prepared for me every single day when I was in Ireland. Morning, afternoon, evenings, and new recipes and everything.
Yeah, well, it also requires that the woman likes you. If she likes you, I think whether you complain. See, again, I'm, a lot of this stuff is tongue in cheek, and I'm playing devil's advocate because some of the stuff I know, but if you complain too much, nobody wants a complainer. We don't want it. Don't get invited to a pity party. And so if you're out there, as men especially, out there complaining about the last woman, then that's one thing. But if she likes you and you say the things that you talking about, Chris, I hope that's part of your book. Maybe it's not. But that's some great game, man, to tell people, instead of talking about what somebody else didn't do, talk about what you like the most, and the woman is going to nurture that. So I got you, bro. I got you.
So the book is actually a workbook. So just to kind of go into it a little bit, it's a workbook that helps you go through the vetting process. So I've met women in my dating journey, and they are really excited, and I am excited. But what you need to do in trying to find a partner is not just go off of excitement, but go off of character. Because that excitement, that first, oh, I'm so happy, so excited about this new person, it'll fade, right? It'll definitely fade away. But what you want to do is, once you understand that person and their character typically doesn't change. It typically only gets better. And let me take this quick commercial. I want to welcome everybody on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to Ask a Black Man Anything, the dopest podcast. Make sure you are sharing this show on your social networks. Love for you to do that for us now. Make sure you also hit the like button. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. And I might just send you some money if you like the show. I'm lying, I won't, but thank you for liking it anyways. Also, if you are currently on Clubhouse, we're doing a simulcast. We are back on Clubhouse. I know I kind of fell off. Please forgive me, Clubhouse fans. I know you guys missed us. AABMA stands for Ask a Black Man Anything. And here's the deal. We are live on YouTube, and this is a simulcast. That's the reason why you only see one icon, the top left icon. That's the only reason why you see that one icon lit up. And I see your hand, Mita, over on Clubhouse. Welcome, Queen. Here's what I would love for you to do. Join us over on YouTube. I want everybody to just pop over to YouTube. You don't have to come on camera, but we want you to be able to ask a question. We want you to be able to ask that question live on our YouTube show. And there's a link in the chat. You do not have to come on camera, but you already have your phone in your hand. And so all you got to do is go to YouTube app, type in Ask a Black Man Anything, and then jump into podcast. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can get when we come live every Thursday. And then Mita, you can send me a DM if you need the direct link. But by all means, come on over, everybody, to youtube.com. The app is YouTube, Ask a Black Man Anything. We're also simulcasting on Facebook as well.
The link is in Clubhouse, Chris. You know, they added that new feature.
Yeah.
The link is in Clubhouse.
Yeah, I got to remember, I'm
no,
starting to dislike Clubhouse, but
they can just click the top.
whatever.
They can just click the link at the top of the Clubhouse room and go and come straight to it'll take them straight to this broadcast, straight to this show.
Oh, the AABMA.live?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have to update your.
It even has a picture.
Chris.
It has a picture, and you got to update. Chris, if you don't see that, you got your shit is hella old.
He probably hasn't updated.
I ain't updated my Clubhouse.
Oh, bro, you like 3 weeks old. Yeah, go to the App Store, update your Clubhouse. It's showing up. This has the link. It has our cover photo and everything at the top, right above the people on the stage.
Times, man.
I don't update my apps up regularly, man. I can't. I like to be in control of when my apps get updated.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, great question.
Shannon, it seems like you already have some home cooked meals waiting for you in the chat.
Facts.
No, see, listen, women be capped. I'll put that out there because all I do is eat. Again, I don't cook, so all I do is eat fast food every day. 30 days a month, I eat fast food. Not fast food, but I go to restaurants. I eat good food. I go to good places to eat, but it's expensive. It's when you spending $1,500 a month on just food because you eat out, it could be it's like, damn, I'd rather eat at home. But Women be saying that stuff, Chris. I mean, Colin. They be saying that in the chat, but they not. You know, the ones that speak up, it be the ones that live fucking 10,000 miles away. Ain't nobody local talking about cooking. That's why, like she said, I'm gonna email Shannon some food. Yeah, email it to me. I want to eat that.
Sure. But no, I was saying, Shannon, I see a couple of your workout videos and things like that, but it's like the fast food is countering that. So you gotta get that off your palate. You gotta eat clean.
No, I do eat clean. It just don't be cooked at home, and it's expensive.
But I'm just saying you gotta get rid of all the junk that you are intaking, because that's countering what you putting on. What's up, Shaheed? While we have you back,
man, I just text you, Shaheed.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's my intro.
He look like he just coming from the gym.
Man, it's getting chilly out here. But yeah, I was just getting a little workout in.
The latest version of Clubhouse. Look at that. This man.
How was your week, Shaheed? How you doing?
Jump in there.
Good, man. I've been back home for about days. I just got back from out in LA, man. I had to come back. I was spending too much money. I was living it up too much out there. Lakers games, Rams games, homecoming games, all that. What's that?
That's dope.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. But I'm like a foodie. I just learned I'm a foodie, man. I was spending like $100 a day on food, just because out here in Arizona, we don't got a lot of good food options. So when I get back home, I'm like, I got to get all the food I'm missing.
I really can't get on you, Shannon, because I've been spending too much money daily on food, but I go to a place Flower Child, so it's organic, healthy foods, but it's just like I'm going there almost every single day, and it's just like I don't even want to look and see how much I'm spending at that place. But it's just like
Shan, let me ask you a question. When Colin's done,
no, I'm done.
Shan, why don't you do Freshly?
I do Freshly. I'm a subscriber to Freshly. The shit is nasty though.
Okay.
Shit is nasty. It's only $100 a week.
What about YouTube University?
I don't want to learn how to cook, if that's what you're talking about. I don't have time. I'm 50
Okay.
I'm 49 years old, man. People been telling me, but listen, I grew up in a house where my mother prepared the meals, my sister cooked. They know how to get down. They can get down like a motherfucker. I just was never. It's two things that I was never interested in. Right, this big old melon head of mine is full of a whole lot of information, and what it's not filled in is professional sports and cooking. I know about everything else on the planet. I can build a house. I'm my own plumber. I can be an electrician. I know how to I race cars. I got lowriders. I know computers. I'm a geek. I got apps in the app store. I'm a coder. I'm a fashion designer. I'm a filmmaker. I know how to do everything. I never wanted to make any brain space for cooking, and I never wanted to make any brain space for professional sports. I don't know who's getting traded. I don't know who's coming in the draft. I don't know who coach is fucking getting fired. I don't know who's getting. I couldn't even tell you all the players on the Lakers. I don't know. I just never cared about professional sports. While all my friends, my father watched football damn near to a fault. It was crazy. I just never cared about it. Still don't care about it. I'll go to the tailgates. I'll go to the boxes to have fun. I'll go to the championship games, but I do not give a shit about professional sports, and I don't care about cooking. One of the reasons why I never cared about cooking is because it used to piss me off that it took longer to prepare the food than for me to eat it. I still eat like I'm in the army. I still eat like I'll wolf my food down. You know, I'll eat it and taste it later. So I still eat like I still have a military mindset when it comes to food. And so I'll wolf my shit down. I just never really cared about cooking. And so although I can learn, I know the recipes, there's recipe books, there's fucking, there's YouTube and shit. I got a TV in my kitchen. I can watch it shit. I'm not interested in it, man. And that ain't gonna change.
Would you like me to help, or would you like me to listen?
Meal prep will work for Shan. Meal prep. Like meal's already in a container form, already ready to go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Does that affect you?
No. I got There's meal prep people out here in LA. In fact, two of my employees are chefs. They're chefs, certified chefs. They meal prep. They be bringing me food. They cook some stuff up. It's just that one, I don't even want to reheat the shit. I just want to fucking. So it's I don't know. I'm a prop when it okay. As much as I talk about fitness and I'm telling you guys to drink your BCAAs and take all your supplements and go to do the gym. The gym is the fountain of youth and go work out and all that kind of stuff. Where what you really never hear me talk about is nutrition. You won't hear me tell you what kind of foods to eat, and you won't tell me how you should balance out your. You won't hear me talk about that shit because that's where I lack. My failure is in nutrition. And one thing that I would, when you talk about getting a woman, right? When they talk about the yin and the yang, you complete me and all that bullshit. I've always really wanted a woman who just was really good in the nutrition side because I lacked in that side. I don't need somebody to know how. I don't need you to know how to get to the bag. I don't need you to know how to fucking be an entrepreneur. I don't need you to know how to do. But if you knew nutrition, oh, that's an asset to me because I generally fail in that area.
So that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask you, Shane. You just answered my question. Does that affect you in the dating? Like, is that big for you? Because I think the cooking component for men is just, it's like important to where like Shane is like he don't give a fuck about none of that getting to the bag. Like if you can cook, you on your nutrition, cool. Where me on the other hand, I cook really well and I enjoy to cook. So when a woman is telling me she could cook, like I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like what else can you do? Like what else can you do? Like do you do tricks? Do you like what do you do? I can cook. Like I you know what I mean? So that's interesting.
Ladies, PSA, put your mouth where your pot is.
No, listen, so there's a scale, right? People talk about scales, the sexual marketplace value, right? Kevin Samuels tells you to rate yourself from a 1 to 10, fresh face out the shower, no makeup. You can't use 7. And then, women rate themselves and then men rate women. That's what we do. And now once you hit a number, you start either gaining points or losing points based on other things in life. So, for instance, maybe you're a beautiful woman and say you rate at an 8, but then you turn around, you got 3 babies from 3 baby daddies. You just lost 2 points. So now your ass is down to a 6. Even though you're pretty, on the sexual marketplace value, you get points. You may be for instance, men, you may be really low on the sexual marketplace value in terms of looks. But if you make a certain amount of money, you live a certain type of lifestyle, you have these certain type of resources, maybe you're smart and intelligent, maybe you have a lot to offer a woman in terms of teaching her shit, you start to increase on the sexual marketplace value. Maybe you're funny, women like to laugh. Well, for me, I'm the opposite of Shaheed. Shaheed is like, yo, I don't need you to cook. But if you knew how to fucking saddle a horse, or you knew how to, or some shit. If you knew how to ride a horse and gallop on the, I like if you know how to get on a horse and run that horse full speed, that may be something that's exciting to Shaheed, right? For me, but Shaheed doesn't give a shit if you know how to cook. If you know how to make a lasagna, Shaheed may be like, yeah, but can you make one better than me? That may be no big deal. But for me,
exactly what I'm gonna say.
If a woman comes and says, baby, I can make a lasagna, I can cook a roast. And I'm excited to do it. That shit takes you 2 points up on my sexual marketplace value scale. You may be only like a 5, but if your ass can cook and you're excited to do so, I'm excited to go shopping. I'm excited to make money to buy the best foods for you to cook. Yes. And you're going to have the best appliances and you're going to cook it in the best oven and you're going to have you're going to have the best of everything to make sure that you can. And that's the part that makes it, where men say women don't. Well, I tell men don't worry about women bringing something to the table, but also you need to make sure that you need to find out how she's valuable to you. She don't have to bring nothing to the table, but what's her value to you? Nutrition for me is high on the value scale for women, but women don't cook these days. Now, I don't know what the chat is saying. They probably in there flaming me up, but here's the next thing. Who cooks? What women cook today? Because women they quick to fucking want me to order some food or go out to dinner. They always want they quick for Postmates. They want to Uber Eats it fast than a motherfucker. They don't have no problem using my credit cards, but they don't want to stand in the kitchen and make me nothing. So
I agree with Shaheed in that. And I'm sorry that I didn't know about the new Clubhouse update. Click the link in at the top of Clubhouse and join us on YouTube. Boom, 30-second commercial break. So I agree with Shaheed. I can cook. I may not be the best at everything, but I actually like. So I know a lot of stuff, but I also have I'm not like Shan. I know sports, right? I don't know everybody on every team. I don't know salary caps and how many points per game, but I know enough to talk intelligently about a lot of subjects. But here's the thing for me: if you can cook, it's great, but can you cook with me? Right? Like, don't like I dated somebody that would always ask me if I needed help. If you ask me if I need help, then I don't think that you're a helpmate. I want you to help. I want you to do what is your natural inclination. Your natural inclination should be, let me jump in and see how I can fit with you. But guess what? If a train is going 100 miles west and you get on that train, where are you going? West. It's a guarantee. If I'm going this way, come on. I'm not going to stop and be like, hey, well, yeah, let me hook your trailer up to mine and, maybe you can come. I'm already on the truck. If you ask me, I don't need your help. I'm good. Like, no, and I'll probably even say that even sarcastically. Nah, I'm good. I don't need your help. But here's the thing. If you know you're a helper, it's in you to do, like, for example, if we go to the store and you lose your wallet or your wallet is at home and we're together, it's my natural inclination to not tell you, don't even worry about it, even drop cash on it, because I know you're going to give it back to me, or I might not even want the money back. Why? Because that's my natural inclination. Like, I got it. If I got it, I got it. If I don't, you better go find your wallet. No, I'm just playing. We'll figure it out. But, today's technology, Cash App, Zelle, whatever, the money is somewhere. So with that being said, welcome, gentlemen, to this great conversation. Welcome again, everybody, to the greatest podcast on Thursday nights, Ask a Black Man Anything. If you're tuning in with us for the very first time, we are live on YouTube, and I literally just updated my app on Clubhouse, had no idea that the link was at the top. So if you want to see us live, you want to see my beautiful face and hear my beautiful voice, I do this thing that the fellas have been asking me to stop, but I'm probably not. I give you the Midnight Love voice. You'll hear that in about an hour because we are out of here at like 12:15. No lie. 9:15, Shan, we are gone. So, Wes, if you're still in the comments, bring yourself to the show. So, with that being said, Shan, let's hit us with the first hot topic, good sir.
all right.
He said I cook. Jamie said, Jamie, look at Jamie. Jamie,
she said she cooked every day. She cooks Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's 5 days a week she cooks.
Jamie, what city you live in?
Chris, and she said her husband cooks on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, but only breakfast. Yeah, but see that I see where you're coming from, Colin. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have Jamie, who cooks 5 days a week dinner. Her husband makes breakfast. I don't like to say cook breakfast. He makes breakfast on Saturday and Sunday, but she cooks Sunday through Thursday. They probably go to have date night on Friday nights. The key word that Colin is trying to emphasize is husband, which makes her a wife. Her husband, which makes her a wife. Women like that are no longer available. They don't make that model no more, Colin. They discontinued that model. They get scooped up. They get wifed. They get married.
Glad I got my model.
Like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm not off the date market. I'm in the cart. So I'm like grayed out. I might become available again should things change, but that's we shall see surely, certain soonly. Soon, that ain't even a word. I just made it up. I've been watching you on this. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that. Anyways, first hot topic, sir. Pop it in.
It's up. You want me to read it or you got it?
I'll go ahead and read it. First hot topic is this. It is a dating experience, an exchange between a man and a woman. The guy says, "Hey, I just want to hit you up and say I had a good time with you last night and would love to go out again sometime." The woman then responds, "I had a good time too. I would love to go out again too." The guy says, "I'm sorry." The woman says, "I had a great time." The man responds, "I had a great time. Would love to go out again too." And then the man also says, "But can I be honest with you for a second?" And then the girl says, "Sure, go ahead." The guy says, "I couldn't believe you agreed to go out with me. I never imagined it in a million years. I thought that after you would realize that you made a mistake, I honestly thought about raping you. I honestly thought about raping you because I thought it would blow. I would blow it. I'm sorry, I can actually read. I honestly thought about raping you because I thought I would blow it and never get a chance to do things right the right way. But after last night, when you saw how nice of a guy I was, I knew that I had an actual shot. I know that's a lot, but I wanted to get that off me. Um,
And he thought that would blow it.
yeah, like he didn't think that would blow it. I think is that the end of it. Let me see if I can find it.
That's all I got.
Well, I would think that's the end of it because I'm pretty sure she left him on red after that.
Probably blocked his ass.
So, um, oh, fellas, put your IG names in the chat if you could. Somebody is actually. I'll tell you what to do, Princess. Do this. Go to ask a black man. Ask a black man anything. Go to ask a black man anything on Instagram, and if you follow that on Instagram, you'll see all of the people that are on this show. If you follow them, those are all of the people that are on the show. So that's how you can get all those, and we don't have to put it in chat. But here's the deal.
It's in the description.
One of the things that I just posted on Instagram is, and Shahid, you can attest to this. Generally, in a game of basketball, you don't let your center, who might be 7 foot or taller, to shoot a three pointer. There are rare big men that are 7 feet, like a Dirk Nowitzki, like a Lamar Odom, like who's I think 6'11" actually, but we'll call him 7 feet. Like a Paul Gasol or Giannis, who will shoot a three pointer and make it. Generally, men that big need to be in the paint. And I say that to say this: if your range is close to the basket, those are the people that you need to shoot for. And don't shoot outside of your range. This is not to stay in your lane type conversation, but this is to shoot within your range. If the woman is unbelievable for you to get, then I don't think you should go after her. They say shoot for the stars and you might hit the moon. I don't believe that philosophy in dating. In fact, I got water right here. But y'all chime in on that. What do y'all think about the guy who said, "I never thought that you would date me, and I thought about raping you"? Like, what? Help me.
I don't know where the hell the rape came from.
I don't even know where we should. I don't even know. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that. But it's no. She already let you know that you're in the right league. You made your shot. She gave you the second day. She said she likes you. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So therefore, from that point on, she's no longer out of your league because you got her. You know what I mean? So anything after that, like he didn't even have to, like, I'm not touching the rape shit, but he didn't even have to communicate to her that he didn't think he had a chance. Like, you got it, you have her. Like, the only time I've ever said something like that is if I'm just trying to gas a woman. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean? And that's some shit.
Said something like what?
I never thought, I don't even think I've said no shit like that, honestly. But I've said shit to
okay.
Just gas a woman, like, you know, feed her ego, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think some stupid shit like that, but that's all just brownie points you trying to get. Just like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, he I don't know where he was going with the following statement.
Yeah, I don't even understand why you would make a statement after she literally. So there's a thing, you know, it's worse than shooting yourself in the foot. That's way worse than shooting yourself in the foot, right? That's talking yourself out of everything that you was about to get, because it's a guarantee that if you go on the next date and you're the same and you continue, it's a guarantee that you end up in a relationship with that person, because there are three things that women typically want a man to be. They want you to be funny. They want you to be able to either sing or be able to cook. If you can do one of those three things, you can typically win a woman. If you have two of those three, then you are in another league. Now,
I wonder is that enough information for her to get him investigated? I wonder if that's enough to get him investigated. I would want to look in his background now. I would want to see. I'd want to go find out who he dated and all that kind of shit.
He incriminated himself.
That just sound like that came off too normal. Like that just.
Yeah, it's too, like, I'm not telling you what's going on, Pastor Clifford. You're on mute, sir.
What's going on, man? It's good to see you, gentlemen. Good evening.
What's going on, Cliff? Like,
all is well, good sir. But yeah, I think it's absurd that you shoot outside of your range. And I mean, if you actually think about it now, Steph Curry actually changed basketball as a whole, right? Now, all kids want to do is shoot threes. They don't want to know the fundamentals of basketball anymore. They just want to shoot, just jack it up, 50 shots a game. But that's not the fun. That's not going to win, right? They don't see that he might actually practice 20,000 shots a night, right? I mean, a week or whatever the case is. They don't see how many times he's putting up 1,000 shots a day in order to get that type of accuracy. They don't see those kind of things. But man, it's an absolute terrible thing to be in the right place, have done the right thing, and then once it's done, you fumble the ball. It's almost akin to you get to the 1 yard line and you let the ball go before you cross the end zone, and the other team picks it up and runs it back and scores. Like, you blew it completely.
One job. And that was to set up a second date. That's all you have to do.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty much cut and dry. I mean, we can move on to
it was a tough one for me but I kind of wanted to just talk about, just for a minute, shooting outside your league, shooting outside your range. But it is what it is. We can, did you want to talk about Summer Walker, Shan?
Yeah, we can pull it up. We can talk about her, because this one is weird. I don't know. I don't think that there's nothing to discuss, and there's certainly no debate. This fool. First of all, I already know that the woman. The fact that this is on the internet means that she didn't go on a second date. I just hope that she protected herself. Because if somebody can be so cavalier about talking about what he would have done because he wouldn't have got a second shot, but now thank you for giving me a second shot. He basically said I was gonna take the pussy, but I'm glad you're giving me opportunity to get it naturally, and so I know you're gonna give it to me. It's almost. I hope that this woman contacted law enforcement. I hope she contacted the homies. I hope she called her brother and her uncles and her dad. I hope she registered a pistol and got a gun. And I hope she told as many people about this in her neighborhood about this particular guy as she possibly can. Because I'm worried that he might do something. This is weird to hear. So yeah, we don't even have to touch this topic. We don't have to touch this one, bro. But
you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. And while you bring up the next hot topic, the Sierra's prayer thing, I'm actually glad that you brought that up. Because a couple of weeks ago, and it's something that I wanted to address. A couple of weeks ago, there was something said on our show, and right or wrong, it was said, right? And it wasn't by one of us. A guest came and they made a comment, and somebody inboxed me and said that we didn't address the comment. One of the things that we are going to do on our show is that we're going to welcome the opinions of other people. And if the gentleman wants to address the comment out, and we have time either today or next week or what have you, we'll bring him back up. I'll reach out and I'll talk to him, or we'll talk to him and see if he's willing to come back up. But he made a comment, and I just, I won't go into it, but it was his comment, right? And every comment doesn't have to be addressed, right? We're not in the business of policing people because people have the right to say their opinions, right? This is literally the show where you can come and share your opinion. And even if we disagree with your opinion, it should not make you feel unsafe or attacked if you disagree with it. Now, here's the thing. If you feel attacked or if you feel triggered by something that a guest says or one of the hosts on the show, these fine gentlemen that sit here with us, if you feel triggered, therapy, right? Or two, take your trigger and ask yourself, why do you feel triggered? Why do you feel attacked? Why do you feel unsafe? And let's not blame shift and say that we did something to you, but take personal responsibility and ask yourself, why do I feel triggered or why do I feel attacked based upon what somebody else said? Because if no one addressed you personally, then I think if someone addressed you personally, then that's when we can address someone being rude. But if it's just their opinion, we're going to welcome and openly embrace the opinions of others, because this is the kind of show that we want to welcome opinions, right? Opinions are not facts. Opinions are just that. They're the things that people think. With that being said, I want to welcome Robert, Jerron, and Clifford to tonight's show. And what do we have next for our hot topic?
Let's see.
Do you need a picture of Sierra's prayer?
No, we got it. So,
okay.
A new song came out this week. A new album was released by Summer Walker. Now, for those that don't know who Summer Walker is, she's a young artist. She's already released one album that was successful. And her boyfriend is the producer of her entire first album. His name is London on the Track. Maybe you heard music. He goes, and we got London on the track. That's his tag. You hear that on a lot of music. Well, they just had a baby. And Summer Walker and London, despite the fact that they've been dating for a while, she is, how do you say, dating a guy who a lot of us would say is kind of have a sketchy. Why would you choose that guy? You know, it's almost like he's a pookie. Even though he's he makes a lot of money. He has 3 children already. And for what I'm understanding, is 3 children by 3 different women. And she got into a relationship with him. She got pregnant. She's baby mama number 4. Certainly baby number 4. I don't know if she's the 4th baby mama, but her baby is the 4th baby. And she just released her most recent album. And her most recent album, she recorded it while she was pregnant, while she was dating him. While he was actually the producer on half the songs. Now here's the controversy. The album that just got released this past Tuesday is a good album. The music is good. Everybody likes the song. She's singing really well. They broke up. And so she's now a baby mama. And now here's the thing. We talk about the women we talk about the women that pick these men to be the fathers of their children. See, the thing about it is women have access to sex, and women have total autonomy to decide if a child is going to be brought into the world or not. Women make the decision to carry a baby to term. There's nothing a man can do about that. Whether he wants to do it or he doesn't, that sole decision is on women. And women oftentimes are bringing children to term, or even conceiving children with people that you would almost say, what the fuck are you doing? So London on the Track, Mr. Baby Daddy of 3 already, tatted up, hood, is dating her, and she turns around and they end up pregnant and she decides to have the baby. And what a surprise. They break up. So now she's baby mama number 4. She's not a wife. He never proposed to her. He never considered her for marriage. Probably said it during pillow talk or during sex, but never considered her. And now she's just a baby mom's, and she's successful, a millionaire baby mom. And so now this latest album, and you know what? Let me see if I can pull up some information. Hold on a second.
I mean, it's not fair because she had no warning signs, like whatsoever, to know that was going to happen. I just feel awful for her. Oh.
Well,
yeah,
here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. So the name of the
can
most
we put up
recent
my
album,
book cover so I can tell people this is why you need my book, The Art of the Ultimate Vetting Guide. You can look at a person's character.
The name of the new
Robert
album
does
is
not
called.
know what to do with his phone.
It's called Still Over It. And let me see if I can pull up the tracks. I talked about this earlier on my podcast, but I'm gonna pull it up here. I think I used Wikipedia to showcase the tracks. And so let me see if I can pull it up on screen. Hold on one second, everybody.
So while he's putting that up, so what is the statistics, anybody, where it's just like, it's only 20% of the men that's having all these kids? Is it 20%? What is the number? Do we know? Anyway, so statistically it's out there that it's only 20% of men that are having all these kids have 3, 4, 5 baby mamas and things like that. And it's just like, it just seems like all across the board, not all across the board, but a lot of these situations where women the signs are there, and they're choosing to lay in bed with these men who already have 3 or 4 baby mamas, and they somehow think they're going to be different. So it just perpetuates that cycle of broken households. And then, what was it? And then, you know, the boys that are brought up from those broken homes and things like that. So it's just like they end up either being beta males or being really abusive towards their female counterparts or partners. So it's like it just keeps it's just a cycle that just needs to be broken. And so, yeah, it might be needing to follow some of the tips that Chris states in his book, or just this whole mindset of wanting to be a mom over a wife. It's just like, let's just get back to the basics, the principles of doing it the right way versus I just want to feel something. I just want to bring a child in this world. Like, there's more to it than just that.
I feel like
My 2 cents.
I feel like it's a frustrating thing because I can't down men who have kids with multiple baby mamas. Not all of them, because some of them have learned. Some of them have learned from their mistakes. Some of them have matured. So it's not to say that men with multiple baby mamas may not be a good person to entertain as far as having a relationship. But again, another plug for Chris's book. Learn the proper vetting questions so you can tell whether or not they've advanced in their thinking, whether they've matured, whether they've learned some things about what they've done, whether they've learned the mistakes of their past. And also, I haven't read it yet because it's just, Chris is doing his thing. But I would imagine that it's also some self-reflective questions, that it's a two-way street. You can ask that question to your potential mate, but you can also ask that same question to yourself and do a deep dive into yourself and figure out, why am I steadily choosing to choose someone who is more likely going to leave me stuck in the gutter? I'm gonna go ahead and drop it with that. That's another plug for you, Chris. That's $9.95, bro.
And good point, Robert. And thank you for making that distinction. Definitely wasn't trying to cast a wide net over, the fathers out there with multiple kids and things like that. That's why, because you're definitely right about that point. That's why I said, the people out there who have 3 or 4 baby mamas, because obviously if they have 3 or 4 baby mamas, they're obviously not learning. So that doesn't apply in that instance. But yeah, thank you for making that differentiation.
So listen,
Robert, to your point, real quick, it is in the book. When a person asks a question, let's say they ask a question about, children. The follow-up question is to ask yourself, how do I feel about what the person says, right? Are my emotions, or something like, are my emotions what I really feel, or am I like triggered by it, right? It gives you an opportunity to say to yourself, is it me or is it them? But anyways, go ahead, Shan.
No. So we're talking about Summer Walker. Her newest album is called Still Over It. Her first album was called Over It. It was just called Over It. And now her most recent album, where London on the track, her baby mom, produced half the album. It's 20 tracks on the album, and it's called Still Over It. They just recently had a child. London on the track is already a father of 3. She became baby mama, or at least baby number. She conceived and brought to term baby number 4. And then what the hell made her decide to have a child with him, or what made women think? Why do women continue to do this? Is the question. This is the question really for the night. Why do women, when given all the information and you're given all the red flags, that's the whole thing right now. Everybody's posting red flags everywhere. When given all the fucking red flags, why do women still make these choices? And then here's the thing. They turn around and complain about the choice that they made. Now, over here, as you can see, if we turn to the screen, this is her album. I went to Wikipedia. I could have went anywhere, but I went to Wikipedia. Her most recent album that was just released on November 5th, 6 days ago. It was released just 6 days ago. Women are loving it. It's a good album. I listened to it. It's a really good music. But let me tell you about the tracks that's on this album. The first track is called Bitter with Cardi B. The second track is called An Ex for a Reason. You're My Ex for a Reason with JT from the City Girls of all people. The third track is called No Love. This is the music that the young girls, this is what young girls are listening to. This is, it's one thing that she has the BBL, and it's another thing that she has the big old fake breasts and fake lips, and she has tattoos all over her face, all over her body. And women are looking at that and saying, oh, okay, maybe that's the new standard of beauty for young black women. Even though men are by and large saying we don't want that. Women they're not listening to men. Women don't listen to men. The next track after that is Throw It Away. The next track after that is Reciprocate. Next is You Don't Know Me. And then finally, just something simple, Circus. The next one is Insane. The track number 9 is called Constant Bullshit. And then my favorite title, track number 10, Switch a Nigga Out. Switch a Nigga Out. Track number 11 is called Unloyal. That's the track that Kevin Samuels was mentioned in. Unloyal. And then, of course, there's track number 12 is Closure. And then you have Toxic for track number 13. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the young girls is listening to. This is what they're loving. And then, of course, number 14 is somewhat decent. That right there. Number 15 is Screwing. Just fucking, basically. And then 16 is Broken Promises. Number 17 is Session 33. And then 18 and 19. The fourth baby mama. Prelude. And then number 19, fourth baby mama.
You know what you just read off, bro? You just read off a full ass cycle. You just read off a full ass relationship, bad relationship, toxic breakup, make a random sex partners, and then come back to baby mama number 4.
She's fourth baby mama. It's mind blowing, and he didn't produce that track. He's not the producer on that one. That was Slim Wave and Daniel East. He produced some of the other tracks like Constant Bullshit. He didn't do Switch a Nigga Out. He didn't make that song. But fourth baby mama. And now here's the thing. It's good. The music audibly is good. But the message is what I'm concerned about. And when you look at her, young women across the nation, across the world is looking at women like Summer Walker and saying, okay, that's what we should do. They're not listening to their mothers and they don't listen to men. So they pay attention to pop culture and music and say, oh, well, look, she's doing that. She got the ass done. I'm going to get my ass done. She's wearing the fucking skimpy ratchet clothes. I'm going to get me some skimpy ratchet clothes from from Fashion Nova and Forever 21. Oh, look, she got her titties done. I'm going to do that. Oh, let me go ahead and get my tattoos done and put it all over my face. Even though I need to get a job and I'm not a singer and a millionaire and got money coming in from royalties, I think I'll be able to get through corporate America with these tattoos all over my face because Summer Walker got it. And then look at her man. I guess I should go ahead and date me a Pookie too. Because Pookie's is the one that's got it. That's the guy that I should get married to. And it shouldn't matter that he got a track record with all the red flags of what I should ignore and what my mother told me to ignore and what my father will not approve of if I had a father in the house. And then she turns around and breaks up with the guy. Is that really a surprise? But that's not what we're really here to talk about. We're really here to talk about Sierra's Prayer, which is track number 20. I'm going to go back to the screen. And I want you guys to take a look at her Instagram. On her Instagram, she wrote a message to all the ladies last week when she dropped the album called Still Over It. She says, ladies, take this opportunity to learn from my mistakes. You don't have to guess if something is love. Love is shown through actions. Stop making excuses for people who don't show up for you. Don't ignore the red flags. And don't think you have to stay somewhere because you can't find better. You can find better and you will. Don't settle for less. is what she tells all the ladies. You don't deserve it, and neither does your family. Summer Walker. She said that in an exclusive interview with Apple Music. Now, the part that we got to talk about, fellas, is why is it always seemingly, especially from people who are leading women by the droves, these messages come a little too late? Why is it learn from my mistakes as opposed to learn from the things that I'm actually doing to make sure I don't make these mistakes? And then we'll talk about Sierra's prayer, because that's the icing on the cake. I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna play the video. We're gonna play the video, and I'm gonna let you guys watch it. But in the meantime, what's going on with that? Why is it that women are making these mistakes and then turn around and saying, oh, don't do what I did. Don't get with a London on the track with the tattoos and the bad boy, and he got 3 baby mamas, and you're going to be 4th baby mama. Don't do what I'm doing with all the fake everything on my body. Don't do what I'm doing. You can deserve better, ladies. You deserve better. In fact, dump the man you got. You'll find something better. Even though women are already the ones that are running to the divorce court. 80%.
So, I mean, this is, I call it the pretty little princess syndrome. It's this sense of entitlement that little girls get from way back when they're children, to where the whole world around them, it revolves around them. You don't talk to girls this way. You don't hit girls. A little girl can do whatever. She can be a demon, and you still have to treat her like the pretty little princess, right? Whereas men, when we grow up, or our boys, if my homie talked to a girl and it's questionable, or if she got a reputation in the streets, I'm staying the fuck away from her. Simple as that. Men don't go at hoe after. I mean, not some men do. Most men don't.
Most don't. No.
If you hear something and she got a reputation, she been with this dude, men stay the fuck away from her. Because we got egos and we like, yeah, I ain't fucking with her. I heard she do X, Y, and Z. Where a woman, you know he's abusive. You know he already got 3 kids. You've heard every story in the book that he do X, Y, and Z to all the women he's with, but the pretty little princess syndrome makes you believe that he won't do that to you. You're going to be the one that his track record that he didn't have for the last 15 years is going to disappear because you're the pretty little princess that he was missing all his life. So you disregard all the fucking red flags that he hands you, the red flags. Here go a red flag right here. But I saw it firsthand where a kid I went to high school with, beat a girl up in front of damn near a whole school at homecoming. And the valedictorian chose him as her boyfriend the next year. Fast forward, you could look this up. You could Google this. Fast forward, she threw her whole life away. Fast forward, a couple years later, she was going back and forth, making sure he was straight in school. He murdered a woman over a cell phone a couple years later. She spent like 10, 15, 20 years behind bars. Not 20, like 15 behind bars because she just held him down for so long.
The valedictorian went to jail? Prison?
She drove him to the murder. I kid you, I'll shoot y'all the link to the they did a little, like not an A&E story on it, but like one of those little TV One stories. It was called like the crazy things women do for love or something like that. But it's that pretty little princess syndrome that women carry the sense of entitlement, like, oh, this can't happen to me. Whereas most men are like, oh, hell no, like, you did that with him. That's why men, we don't wife side chicks. Some men do, but most of the time, like, a side chick ain't getting wifed. Like, we gonna move on, and you know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's that sense of entitlement. And then when shit go wrong, We blame everybody they blame everybody but the person in the mirror that's looking back at them.
Hey, I also think it got something to do with it. Women think they can be what we call a fixer-upper. And I mean, it's just not what it is. At the end of the day, you can't fix every nigga you come in contact with just because he didn't work for somebody else. So this same nigga had 4 or 5 women before you, and he was the same exact way, 3 or 4 kids. So now he comes to you, and you think because you look this particular type of way or you act this particular type of way that things gonna change. Or hey, I can change him, or I can turn him into somebody that he's not. And at the end of the day, if a person presents themselves as who they are, that's who they are. You know, you can't change somebody if that's who they portray themselves to be. And so I think a lot of times, and I, just growing up and just being around women in general, I think a lot of times what ends up happening is you come across these guys that you truly want to be with for whatever reason. They may have a certain type of image you like, or they may make you feel some type of safe or secure, something like that. And you think you can change them. But when you realize that a nigga gonna be a nigga at the end of the day, then you want to cry, or, like Shan said, get out on Instagram and say, hey, I made a mistake. Please don't be like me. But at the end of the day, the music that you're putting out and what you're putting out and what you're showing, people are going to look up to you, and, people enjoy your music, but people enjoy you as a person. So a lot of times what they're going to end up doing is following your same footsteps or following your same lead. So I think one thing we got to do is we got to stop thinking we fix our uppers and see a person for who they really are.
I think this topic touches Jerron. I never heard him use the word nigga, and he used it like 6, 7 times. Boy, he don't like them. He don't like them no niggas. I get it.
And I know we're not supposed to be looking at comments, but I saw the comment in there. They just want to fix people up for past traumas, but it's like, why not go for the person that's already fixed? Why always go for the person that needs to be fixed? I don't understand. So why not go after? So that's my question. Is like, why not, to the ladies out there, why not go for the person that's already fixed, the guy that's already fixed, versus going to the one that needs fixing? But we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, I got something for that though.
Wait, hold on one second. Keep talking, you guys. I'm checking out something because I'm pulling up the video.
To your question, Colin, with that, like I agree with it, and I don't at the same time, because we all had a conversation about women's position as far as being a helpmate. I think we all generally agree that women are built to be helpmates. We have disagreements within there. We won't go over that, but where a woman steps into a man's life that's already built, what is there for her to help? She may be able to take care of some of the back end things, but this man was already living with all that stuff taken care of. Whereas someone who, and you guys heard my promise over potential thing, someone who has promises and actually working towards being that man that's built, they can step in and they can amplify that man. They can help that man grow. But I think women have an issue identifying men with promise versus a man that just has potential, versus a man that's all talk and is not having any actions behind what it is that he's saying he's doing, because he ain't trying. And so they go hard for those dudes who don't try. They sit at home, play PlayStation, smoke weed, get on Pornhub, whatever they're doing. But they don't go hard for the ones who look like nerds, but they actually out there trying to get their life together. If a woman walks into a man that's showing promise, I feel like more often than not, they'll end up in a winning situation. Now, they can't place all of their value in building him up, because once he gets to a certain place, you still got to have something to offer him. That's kind of my opinion on that, Colin.
Mr. Hardman, what are your thoughts?
Robert, I actually need you to repeat the second half of that.
The second half of that is I'll start from women going over promise versus potential. more often than not, women don't recognize a man who is working in his promise, working towards his purpose or working towards his future. Whereas potential is a man that's just talking about what he can do, what he will do. I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna learn this, but he never looks up any schools. I'm gonna start a business, but he never actually goes down and fills out any paperwork to get his business license or anything. He's all cat. You sit at home, play, smoke weed, all that. It's repeating over here. I don't know if y'all hear that, but whereas promise is actually working. You say you still hear that?
Yeah, exactly.
I got mine all the way down. I don't know if anybody else is audio.
So what's going on?
All right. So I'm gonna try it. Where a man that's working in his promise, he's actually working towards it. So he's actually starting his classes. He's actually starting his business. He's actually making moves. And a woman can come in and is still doing it comfortable and make it.
Yeah, it's still doing it. Do y'all hear that too?
Yeah, I heard it.
Here, let me.
There, I jumped off.
Like what the heck?
I jumped off my Bluetooth in the car. Is that better?
Much better, much better.
All right. So what I was saying was a man that's working in his promise is what women actually need to be trying to identify if they're actually going to be trying to build a man up, right? A man that's actually working towards something, actually you're able to view that he's working towards his goals and he's not all cap and he's not just talking about it. I feel like more often than not, if women would identify a man that's working in his promise versus his potential, they'll end up with a relationship that will be successful. And then I was saying, once they do that and they help this man reach a certain point, they have to be aware that they have to have more to offer at that point. Because once he reaches a certain stature and that's all you were there for, your value may not be the same. He may value the work you did for him. He may love everything that you've done for him. But if you can't continually give him new value, what are you there for at that point? And that's how a lot of women say, I built him up. He got to a certain point and he left me. You stop looking for ways to add value.
Agreed. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then as far as the guys with promise, even I've been told when I see things like that, it's just like I was given a timeline. It's just like if we not at a year, if we not at that point, I'm out. And I thank them for that realness. But because you can see if somebody's actively doing what they're saying, so that kind of works with the promise as far as that. So it's just like if he's saying he's going to do this, he's going to do this, but he's at home playing video games and things like that, not actively working towards what he said he's going to promise he's going to do, then it's just the signs there. You don't really need to wait a year, 8 months, whatever that is. But yeah, and that's not every case scenario with the, what was the other one? Not the promise, but the other one.
Potential and promise.
The potential. No. I'm sorry. So which, the promise was the one that followed through?
Yeah, the promise is somebody who's making strides toward, like if you're making.
Okay, so I got them confused. So the potential is what I was talking about. It's like potential was one that's saying I'll do this. But if he's not actively working towards that, then the signs are there. You don't need to stick around for a year or wait around for that. You see it. The potential's not there. But for the promise, that's not every case scenario. Of course, there are some guys out there, you know, if we want to talk about waiting to exhale or whatever. But that's not every case scenario, because a woman out there through a guy is blind and he makes it, more than likely that's going to be his wife, and you know his successes are going to be her successes. So it's like his wins are, you know, we win. So it's just like I think that's just a really small percentage of, you know, the waiting to exhale scenario where it's just like the guy just, I no longer need you, and you know goes for a white woman. I know you didn't say that, but I'm just saying goes for another woman or something like that. Because you know most guys are like that, where it's just like, okay, if you was there shooting in the gym and all that kind of stuff, like you might ride or die. I mean, LeBron James, for example, there's many more examples. So, but yeah, I agree with what you said. But as far as like potential, It's either there, he's either showing what he's saying he's gonna do or he's not.
And stop trying to build those who are not showing that he's trying to do what he's saying he's trying to do.
Right, and we're talking about generational curses too and traumas. When do we break that trauma? Because all this is doing is just keeping us in our community in the hamster wheel. So we got to stop using that as an excuse to generational curses. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but it's just like that kind of behavior where it's just like the flag day, you're just ignoring it. And then the same thing happens to you. You're another baby mama. You have a kid. You're just perpetuating the cycle. You're just keeping the cycle going. So at some point in time, we as a community, we as the men in the community, gotta say, stop. Enough is enough. And I mean, that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. So listen, this is the title. This is the title of today's show, actually, and we could wrap it up with this topic here. In terms of Summer Walker with her new album, she made a song, or it's kind of like a prelude, called Sierra's Prayer. And she actually got Sierra, the artist, to say it for her. And it's the last track on the album. And there's a part in it that I want to discuss, but I'm going to play the video. And since we're not monetizing this and I'm not monetizing it on my channel, it doesn't matter. We're going to play it and we're going to discuss this. So here, take a look at this.
Everybody want to be Sierra and get a Russell Wilson.
All right, so here's the interesting part about this Sierra's Prayer. It's how a lot of people are taking it. Like even Carla says, like Carla's saying that, you know, once it's acknowledged, that's what the album is for her. You know, acknowledgement and a step towards healing. You know, and that sounds, you know, once you are self-aware, it's your responsibility to interrupt the dysfunctional pattern and work towards the healing. Part that's upsetting for me is it shouldn't, but you knew, but when, why must we make the mistake to start healing when we already know the problems in advance? You already know the problems in advance. You don't need to get cancer. You don't need to get lung cancer to realize you should stop smoking. Most people don't smoke like they used to back in the day because once they learned about how smoking can kill you, people are realizing, you know what, cigarettes aren't that cool. I don't need to smoke them to realize that I shouldn't smoke. But it seems like oftentimes in our community, even though we have the statistics that show it, the single parent homes, 78% in the black community, once was 23% in the black community just 50 years ago. The baby daddies, the red flags, the hood niggas, the pookies. We continue to make the same mistakes. And then after the mistake, we're saying, oh, you know what? Now I'd like to give up on smoking now that I have cancer. Now I'd like to make a song that is asking women, is telling other people, please don't make my mistake, even though you knew about that mistake before you made it. There's been enough baby mamas and enough trauma and problems in the black community that you didn't have to do that, but you turn around and did it anyway. Then you turn around and tell women, oh, you know what, don't make my mistake. But here's the thing about the Sierra's Prayer. The part that's interesting to me, and I want to know if you guys share my sentiments. And Carla says some kids need to touch the hot stove. No, that's ridiculous to me. I don't know why they need to do that. But here's the thing about it. Take a look at this part of the song.
Jesus, I need you.
Let me fast forward to the part.
know my pain is not in vain. I know that my baby is the most precious.
She says, I know my baby is the most precious gift. The baby is the most precious gift. Not the husband, not the man in her life, but the baby is the most precious gift. Remind you, this is a song. This is available for everybody. And a lot of women out there is listening to this and is, I guess, quote unquote, identifying with this. My baby is my most precious gift. We already have a culture of people who are celebrating the baby showers, not the wedding shower. If you across social media, you can go on and see there's no men or father or husband mentioned, but it's tons and tons of photos of women and their baby. There's no men involved. You don't see that anywhere.
Precious gift you.
And so now she's saying, thank you for my baby. It's the most precious gift.
Thank you for that.
It's given me life, and I thank you for that. And then here's the thing.
Thank you.
After that,
cover and protect us, Lord. I pray the next man in my life will be my husband.
she says, I pray that the next man in my life will be my husband. Now, here's the issue I have with that. If you're going to talk about, and let me back it up. I'm going to play it straight through. And I pray that I have everything I want and need in him. This is the Sierra's prayer. Now, remind you, women already championed Sierra because, she landed herself a Russell Wilson. That's the whole reason why it's called Sierra's prayer. Let's not bullshit about it. The whole reason she went and got Sierra and used it and called it Sierra's prayer is because women are out there want to channel themselves and manifest themselves somehow through wishful thinking and fucking in prayer that they're going to get themselves a Russell Wilson, a man worth $130 million and is the captain of a Super Bowl winning football team. Here, ladies, all you got to do is sing this prayer, repeat this prayer, and then it'll happen for you. But first, thank God for the baby. Thank God for the baby. And then after that, pray for the husband to come save you. Don't pray for the husband first. Instead of Sierra's prayer instead of it being like, I don't know, Beyonce's prayer or maybe Kim Kardashian's prayer, it's Sierra's prayer for the baby moms to pray for a husband that's going to come and say, you know what, future, we don't even need your child support. I got it from here. Say thanks for the baby and pray for the husband to come save me. And I hope he's everything that I need. And I hope he's everybody. I hope he encapsulates everything I want in a man. Millionaire, high value, good looking, alpha male. And is going to come out here and tell my baby daddy kick rocks. As opposed to praying for the husband and then saying thanks for the child, the love child between you and your husband. That's how I interpreted this. And I know a lot of men that's interpreted it that way, but I don't think women are interpreting it that way. They're looking at it like, you know what? Thank you for my baby. That's the most precious gift. Appreciate you. Appreciate my sperm donor. Now, Lord, that I'm out here with this baby, can you send me a Russell Wilson? And in fact, I'd like to have Sierra sing the prayer. Please, Sierra, come bless this album as the last track through Switch a Nigga Out and all the rest of the songs. We went through the titles. I want my last song on this album to be Sierra's prayer, because what happened to her should happen for all of us other baby moms out there. And I think that's absolutely insane. I think it's a shitty message to send out there to young girls. I think it's the bad, because what that to me, in my interpretation, and I could be off. I want you guys to, I'm not above reproach. Please calibrate me. And ladies, if you guys are in the chat and you want to correct me, pull up, talk to me. But I think it's a bad message. And I wish that wasn't on the album, to teach women to sing the Sierra's prayer thanking God for your baby. Now send me a husband to take care of me and my baby.
You know,
I'm all ears.
What's crazy? What's crazy? Excuse me. What's crazy though is like these women don't want a Russell Wilson. They want a man that makes $100 million. That's what they want. They don't want the type of man Russell Wilson is, the type of culture he comes from, how he talks, how he dresses, what he's into. They don't want that. They want to package the man that they want, and they want him to come with all the perks that Russell Wilson is. There's plenty of Russell Wilsons out here. They just don't make $100 million. And none of these women that are having this type of Sierra's prayer are going for those men. Those men typically lose out.
It's about 54% of them.
And the men that win out are the men that are more like Future that don't make $100 million.
Those about the 15 to 20% that are making all the business.
Right. So it's just like that. I didn't even know this was an actual real prayer. I thought it was just something that they just like. Man, this is like.
But the thing is, when you talk to God, though, you talk to God for yourself, not for somebody else. So why are you taking somebody else's prayer that supposedly they utilize when they talk to God one-on-one, and you taking that prayer and trying to talk to God about that particular situation? Just because it worked for her don't mean it's going to work for you. Everybody's situation is different. You know, that's what she was going through at the time or whatever. But don't take somebody else's prayer and expect to go and talk to God about it and say, hey, God, I'm using this prayer, and this is what I want to happen for me since it happened to her. Everybody's situation, everybody's story is different. And like Shaheed said, you know, they don't want the Russell Wilson. You know, we know who they want. But when they don't work out with that particular person, now they try to come over and get the Russell Wilson. But let's be honest. The particular Russell Wilson that Sierra got, like you said, Shan, he don't exist for everybody. You know, or they don't want they guy. They think they guy's quote unquote corny. And so they don't want a guy like that. But they want the guy that makes the money, but they want the guy that they don't act like him, or that's a little bit more street tough, or that's out here in the streets doing this and doing that. That's not what they want. And so, you know, my whole thing is it, and I don't care about, I mean, it's good that you actually pray to God, you know, pray to God about whatever you want, that you speak whatever you want into existence. The power of the tongue is extremely important. But pray to God about on your own, with your own prayer, with your own situation, instead of taking somebody else's prayer and trying to use it for your gain. Because just because it worked for her, 9 times out of 10, it don't mean it's going to work for you. I'm just calling it what it is, because he wants you to come to him with your own wants and needs, with talking to him on your own, not taking what somebody else is giving you and trying to use it for your benefit. So I don't agree with it either. I think if you're going to talk to him about what you want, have a heart to heart with him. You don't need to use nobody else's prayer for all this. Do it on your own.
Y'all ready for my different opinion, or somebody else want to go first?
Yeah, I'll jump in there real quick. Because I actually, you know, I like to kind of go ahead. What'd you say, Shaheed?
I was telling Robert, throw the cape on.
So, I hate the term pushback when we talk in these conversations, but here's my feedback in reference to Sierra's prayer. Her prayer for the man that she now has, as Jerron alluded to, and he, you know, so eloquently spoke on, was definitely her prayer. One of the things I talked about on my Instagram is don't pray Sierra's prayer. And I'll read a little bit of it because it was. I think it's important that if you're going to pray for change, or you want to, if you want to pray the prayer, be ready for what Sierra had to go through to get to the place where she fell on her knees to pray to God that
they're
God,
not gonna
the
do
way
that.
that I've been doing it ain't been working. And I'll throw this in here too. As a man of faith, there are times where you realize, and I think this is where Sierra was. I can pontificate, if you will, that this is where Sierra was. That God, I thank you for my baby, and I'm not saying that he's, he's wrong. He was a bad thing, but I have not been making the right decisions, and I don't want to continue to make those. Put me in position, God, that I can, one, be better, and then two, the man that I find, the good man that finds me, allow him to be the man that I really deserve and not the BS that I had before. But here's some of the things that I said about Sierra's prayer on my Instagram. And again, it's the real _ Chris Davis if you want to go and check it out. And it's actually, I titled it Sierra's Prayer, a Masterclass. First thing is,
here come the pushback, y'all. Here come the pushback.
Are you willing to have failed? Are you willing to go through what Sierra went through? Are you willing to have failed relationship at 17, to be in an abusive relationship, to be broken, to be crushed by whatever circumstance you went through? Are you willing to cry out to God, to love yourself first, to be publicly and privately adored and cared by your man? Or maybe not, right? Are you willing to go through that first before you get to the prayer? Because typically what happens with prayer, your circumstances push you to a certain place where you're so broken that you have to start praying, I don't want this way anymore. It pushes you to that place. Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to make money like Sierra does and be the center of attention, but still show in several aspects of your life that the man you now chose, Russell, is the apple of your eye? Are you willing to respect him, represent him, honor him, love him, cherish him, obey him, submit to him? And the him I'm talking about is not God. I'm talking about Russell. Are you willing to do that? Because that's what Sierra's prayer is about. Taking me from my brokenness to now submitting, honoring, loving, and respecting the man that I now have. Sierra represents her husband well. She had a custom-made dress out of his jersey. And I don't know if it was out of his jersey material, but that's representation, that's reverence, that's respect. Are you willing to do that? And if you're not willing to do those things, then don't pray Sierra's prayer. If you're not willing to go through what she went through, then don't pray her prayer. Don't pray it just because she got a good man and they on TikTok and Instagram and they can making videos and they love each other. If you're not willing to do the things that she did to get him. Colin asked me at the very beginning of the show, what is one of the most important things that a person needs for relationships?
Carla.
The internal work.
Stop the cap.
You have
Carla.
to get your mind. Go ahead. What'd you say, Shan?
No, Carla's out there talking about. I don't think. Let me stay away from the chat. Go ahead.
You have to get your mind ready to come from what you went. Because here's the thing. I actually met Sierra when she was dating Bow Wow. I can't say I know her, but I was her and Bow Wow's personal bodyguard. Me and my buddy, we took them to the movies. I was there for their relationship. I was there for part of it. I know, a guy that, knows Shad Moss well, right? I was there for that at 17. But here's
Chris,
the thing.
Where's the pushback? Because I'm not hearing no pushback.
No. I'm not saying I hate the term pushback. So I wasn't saying I was going to use it. What I'm just saying is
I
this.
thought you had some pushback. Okay.
No.
Like,
I just say I hate the
everything you
term
saying,
pushback.
I'm thinking like I'm jiving with everything you saying. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, but I got you.
No, I said I hate the term pushback. All I'm saying is if you want the lifestyle that she has, even if it's at your current level, let's just say you don't want a man that makes $1 million or $100 million or whatever the case is, but you want a man that will give you the same treatment that Russell is giving to Sierra. You must be the type of woman that will reciprocate, that will respect, that will love, honor, cherish, obey, and reverence him, because I can bet your money on it. That's exactly what she's doing. But she also had to be broken to the point where when she was dogged, she like, oh, I can't keep doing this. But she took time to come away from that and say, okay, God, I want better for me, for the blessing that you've given me and my child. And I don't need him to save me per se, but I do want to have a better man. And in order for her to be a better man, I can guarantee you that conversation between her and God, it led her to say, you know what? I got to pick better. I can't keep picking the guy that is a thug. I can't keep picking my choices or my preferences.
No, I got you.
Because my
I don't think
kept me in the place.
Kept you in the place that she was at before she made the prayer. The only problem is like the prerequisite. See, the thing about this is I'm going to emphasize the prerequisite. Are you willing to do all the stuff and the work that she did to be where she's at? The answer, and for what I'm seeing in my observable universe, hell no. Ain't nobody doing that. Women ain't doing that. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
That's the thing about, and we could just take away the prayer in and of itself and talk about relationships as a whole, right? If you want to come up and discuss, you know, by all means, come up and discuss. Click the link at the top of the chat. Call in. We got about 5-10 more minutes for you to join the conversation. If you want to discuss it, right? Or you want to ask a question. But here's
Robert
the deal.
wants to talk. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna jump to Robert. But my only and I love her prayer, right? Because I know what it's like to personally be broken and be in such a place of destituteness, or that's a word. I just made it up. It is what it is. Such a destitute place where I'm like, damn, I'm tired of being like this. Let me be Chris 2.0. And so, and then I'm going to end here and I'm going to toss it to you, Robert, because so many people will say, I am who I am. Take me as I am. Guess what? You as you are, as 1.0 version of you, might not be the one that's going to get the Russell. You need to be 2.0 you. You need to practice some new habits, some new disciplines, and be better than you currently are. You can't keep being the same and expecting different. You're insane, because that's the definition of it. Rob, I'll toss it to you.
Yeah, so I didn't even have to really put on my cape because Chris said a lot of what I was going to say. But I have a difference of opinion than what Shannon Shahid expressed earlier on the impact and the power of the prayer. I think of it as someone who is praying that prayer from the perspective of someone who already knows that they messed up. So it's not that they're praying it to teach women that, hey, you pray this and you get this, or this is the right path. They're admitting they're wrong within the prayer. Problem is the prayer.
What line, Rob? I didn't hear much accountability.
I didn't hear no. Let him finish. Let him finish, Shahid. Let Luke Skywalker's cooking. Go ahead, Luke. So
the problem is in the midst of that prayer, there was nothing about working on themselves. There was nothing about holding themselves accountable for the mistake that they had. But what you got? Let me finish my thought because you guys make me bounce around. So that's my issue with the prayer is, though it's coming from a place of sincerity, though it's coming from something that people should pray for, you should be praying for becoming the person that is ready for the Russell Wilson type person to come in. Russell Wilson didn't get with Sierra because she was pretty. She had a lot of other intangibles that Russell was looking for. She did the inner work on herself so that she wouldn't be picking more people like Future. And that I think is where the whole thing is missing. But when I heard you speak, Shan, I didn't hear you speaking from the view or the perspective of the person who knows that they messed up. And I agree that it ain't really in there, and that's the problem. But it's a prayer. Like if you mess up, you're gonna pray, you know what? I hope that the next person is the person for me. I hope that the next person is the person that I marry. My problem with the whole thing, and I feel like it's your problem too, is there's no prayer in there that's saying, help me get better. Help me get to the place where I need to be. Let me do the work. Help me do the work. Teach me how to do the work. Show me what I need to learn. And that's what my problem is with the prayer. But I don't have I feel the prayer because I can put myself in that perspective. Say I had a kid with somebody out of wedlock and I keep making these dumb choices. I'm going to pray that the next time I don't run into the same person again. But for me personally, I'm also going to I'm going to hold myself accountable. Yada, yada, yada.
How about like adding an element of forgiveness in the prayer? Like, forgive me for the dumb decisions that I made. Like,
no, they're not going to do that.
Like,
yeah. They're not going to do that. They're not going to say, please forgive me for my mistakes. Please forgive me for having this child out of wedlock and laying with Pookie, who had 3 baby mamas before me. Instead, she's going to say, thank you for the blessing. This is the best thing that's ever happened. This is the most precious gift ever given to me, is this child that I can't afford, that I have to get on, that I need public assistance on, and that I need some welfare. I thank you for putting this burden on everybody in my city. Thank you for allowing me to have a child that while I'm in a position that I can't even afford daycare, and thank you for giving me a baby that that grandma's gonna have damn near raise. And I pray that you give me the husband that I want. And yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the prayer as a message to other women saying, one, if you made this mistake, sing this prayer, you'll be okay. That's why I led off with what Summer Walker wrote on her Instagram page. I could pull it back up. She was basically saying, don't worry about it, ladies. You fucked up. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Don't tolerate no disrespect, and you're gonna get better than what you had. Trust me. No, they're not gonna get better than what they had. This proof in the pudding for that. We don't have to look. They won't have to go too far to realize that they're not gonna get better. But also, don't worry about what. I'm sorry. Going back to the prayer. So yeah, you got, for the ones that had a baby, don't worry about it. Just pray for a Russell Wilson and then say thanks for the kid. But if you don't have children yet, where's the message to make sure that they don't do, so that other women don't make that mistake? That's the thing that I'm thinking about. That's what I'm talking about, out of order. We're always talking about how women are out of order these days, right? And in so many different categories. Here's a whole new category of women being out of order. Are you suggesting that because in all the even in the message that Summer Walker wrote on her Instagram and in this prayer, it's not saying don't have a kid out of wedlock. It's not saying land a good man first, then pray for a nice healthy baby later. None of that is even mentioned, and that's weird to me. And so I think this prayer is actually speaking to women who's not baby mamas yet. I think it is speaking to women who's not baby mamas yet. And that's why I was talking about how women are now championing, they just want sperm donors. They don't even think they need a man no more. Men are not, it's not, the only reason we're needed is just to provide sperm. A lot of women are starting to believe that, and the sisterhood is certainly trying to teach it. They're trying to say, oh, you don't need these guys. I mean, don't worry about it. You got your man. Did you get your guy? Okay. Did you land him? Okay, good, girl. You don't need him. We got you. Everything. Get rid of that nigga. Switch a nigga out. The track number 10 is called Switch a Nigga Out. Really?
Yeah, like you said, I think that's just the new thing that's being had now. It's replacing marriage, so it's just like having trauma babies, like you said, or just for donors, and then trying to get another man to provide and take care. And it's just like we men, we really don't go for that. There's some out there that will, but it's just like a lot of men don't typically like that situation. But yeah, it's just everything is just
I pray he will love me the way.
backwards, basically. And ultimately, it hurts the community, as I was stating earlier, because you got these single parent households, these broken households, where one parent is missing from the growth of that child. That's essential. And then they grow up and then don't have the essential skills and tools to know how to treat another human being, whether it's a guy or a girl. And like I said, it just perpetuates the cycle. It just keeps repeating itself. So at some point in time, we have to break these generational curses and traumas that everyone's experiencing.
And I was struggling to get set up tonight. Man, I just had to come in and y'all were getting out of hand, so so I had to come in and help Rob out, help young Luke out. Obi-Wan had to come to the rescue. No, listen, no, really, straight up, real talk. So, Shan, what I would say, man, is, oh man, it was something you said just now. Can't think of, wait, how did you say that?
I think that the Sierra's prayer, I think Sierra's prayer is talking to women who have children and is looking for a savior. I think it has not. So they talked, like Robert brought up the accountability. Shahid touched on the accountability. I didn't even bring that part. I just think it's basically telling, it's a prayer for women who made a mistake and it's saying, please, Lord, send me a savior. That's what I think it is for the women that already had a kid, which is crazy to me, right? Not for any correction or anything like that. And then I think it's also a message to women that don't have children to say, don't worry about it. You could just pray. If you do have a child, it'll be the best blessing in the world. It'll be the most precious gift that you ever got. Thank God for that. When it happens, don't worry about the guy. Don't even have to mention him. And then once you switch that nigga out, pray for the husband, because God's gonna send you a Russell Wilson.
Gotcha. So here's the thing. When you've been through what Ciara has been through, and you've already had your journey and you've made the mistakes on your journey, you then, first of all, and you can't encompass every single, you don't encompass every single aspect and every single possibility in one sitting, whether it's one song, one prayer, one whatever. And so the only thing that you can really do authentically is speak from and pray from the place that you of your experience, of your current journey. And so for Ciara, her current journey is one of having been in a relationship, had a kid with someone who wasn't the best choice based on her own mistakes or her own shortcomings when it comes to her discernment or her intuition and the whole nine, or her vetting process, to Chris's book's point. And so with that being said, the prayer is for things hoped for. Now, yes, we're looking on the surface and saying, oh, well, she got a Russell Williams and a guy with this money, whatever the case is. But what she's saying is, very simply, what she said is praying for that, praying that it is what you desire. Now, speaking to a certain person's desire, I love seeing your face right now. But speaking to desire, every individual has their own desires, and so should she have made a 4-hour prayer where she also goes into, hey ladies, so what you should desire in your prayer is not a man who's X, Y, and Z or have these things on the surface, but who is good at his core, because Russell Wilson is a guy on the surface, we don't all know him, but based on what we see, it's not just the money. He's a guy. He's that same great guy. And yes, there's a ton of great dudes out there, a ton of Russell Wilsons, to Lil Duval's point, who ain't got the money. But the point of the matter is that, yeah, she could have made a 4-hour or 4-day prayer that went into all the intricacies and nuances of how to vet and what characteristics to look for in the guy. But that's not it. It's a simple prayer. It's a simple prayer. And it is one of hope One of, yes, I've made these mistakes. Yes, I've gotten to this place in my life that's unfavorable. And now I'm hoping for better things. I'm
Okay.
praying for something better.
It's a prayer but it's also a prayer of priority. So if you're not going to give us the 4-hour prayer that encompasses everything that should be in there, what do? You keep a simple prayer, and the most simple prayer that you do is this. You don't want to pray for discernment. You don't want to pray for forgiveness. You're going to pray to make sure that you get a baby daddy.
Wait, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of women are in a place where that like they're in the thick of it now.
And they shouldn't be praying. This shouldn't be the prayer that first comes out their mouth. This shouldn't be the first thing that they hear.
But we can't. But look, but now we're policing how she.
Yes, you goddamn right. Yes, I'm policing. I'm policing what, especially when you teaching people with, because the problem is people don't read the article. They read the headlines.
Exactly.
So if you
this is my point. They read the headlines. And Ciara knows who her audience is, and Ciara knows the women that resonate with her are women that have been through what she's doing. So
this ain't Ciara's album. This is Summer Walker's album.
I know, but that's not the point. It's Ciara's prayer on the album.
It needs to, but yeah. So let's make it. Let's make it.
Here's
the
my point. And to your point, it is Summer's album, which even makes even more sense because someone like Summer resonates with someone like Ciara, or Ciara resonates with Summer, which is the whole reason of having Ciara's prayer on Summer's album.
Okay,
because Summer has found herself. Because Summer
ain't nowhere near Ciara's level. But go ahead.
No, I didn't say her level, but it resonates with her because she is having a certain journey and struggle that Ciara went through.
I agree with that, but see, now I know Chris hates this word, but this is where I give pushback, Wes. So you say, should she have done the 4-hour prayer, yada yada? Yeah, you should, because this prayer is widely accepted in our culture and in our community, and people run towards this prayer, and it's been,
and it's the only prayer they say.
Yeah, it's been a picture in our community for some years now, right?
God damn.
And nothing is being. We want to know all that. Because if you have a community of women that are following this prayer and praying this prayer, what about the other components of it? It's your responsibility now. That's like me as a male black figure or whatever. I put out a short excerpt, and I know the large majority of young black men are following this excerpt that I put out, and I know that it's so many more intricate details that go with this excerpt. And I'm just letting the young black men follow it, like, yeah.
And I'm gonna put it out this.
So here's the deal.
I got a question. But
here's the deal. Really quick, Robert. Let me just say this. You deal with your audience. The point is, so if you're gonna speak to something,
sell records. So sell records. So just make sure that you sell it to the 80% of single parent homes, baby mamas that's having sex with only 20% of the niggas out here, the Pookies and Ray Rays. Sell it to them so you can get album sales because that's the audience.
Y'all missing the point.
No, I never miss points.
Wait, y'all not listening, but you're not listening though. Ciara has an audience. People have their certain responsibility to the people that gravitate towards them for who they are, and they speak to what they know. That is why there's an Oprah, and then there's somebody else, and there's somebody else, because everybody has their job and their calling. It's just like to this point, Shaheed is probably going to speak. If we having to talk about horses, Shaheed is going to be the one to speak to that, or whatever the case is. And while he might have some insight in other areas, he got 5 minutes or whatever, and so he's going to speak to his audience, the people that are there, that follow him for whatever that thing is, and that resonate with him. And so the point though is that she can't have a 4-hour whatever, and there's more steps in the process. You can't solve it, or the world wasn't made in a day. So you can't solve the world's problems, and you can't solve the problems of these girls in one day.
So then, if you got to give a short prayer, if that's the case, and we don't have time to do a 4-hour prayer, a 4-day prayer, some long shit that encompasses everything. If you got to keep it short and sweet because it's the last track on the album, and you only got 2 minutes to do it, You believe that this is you believe that this is the best thing that we need in our community today? You got to be kidding me, right?
It's not about investing in the community. See, you just broadened it. But if this is the last track on an album, Summer's album, who's got girls who resonate with Summer following his album, and they look up to a Ciara and see how life can be shitty and then get better. So then, yes, on that particular,
this is not teaching them to do anything better. There's no self-edification in this prayer. It's basically saying, thank you for my baby. Thank you for my baby. Send me a baby daddy. That's all this prayer is saying.
But it's a prayer.
Hold on.
But it's a prayer. It's a prayer alone. Some of these girls who follow City Girls, who follow Summer, some of these girls ain't never prayed in their life. I'll say this last thing. My cousin, who's a senior VP at Columbia Records, he said something. He's the guy who signed Mary
Who? At Columbia, who? Name?
Dominic Guidry. So he said something in an article years ago. He signed Mary, and then he went on to manage them. He said something in an article years ago that was really powerful. He said that he was asked in an article about, being a Christian, for instance. And this is not about being a Christian, but there's a positive message here. But he was asked about how did he feel about being in the music industry when and the one thing that they did with Mary is with the song Shackles is they promoted it like it was an R&B song. It was in the clubs, it was everywhere. And he said in that article, when they asked about how do you feel about being in the music business, he said that for the first time he might be the only light that someone in that office or in that building or in that industry sees because of how he moves in the whole nine. And my point to that is, this prayer, as trivial as it is to you and I, as much sense as it might not make, this might be the beginning for some women who've never prayed before. And then they go further down their journey. This might be the first time that they've actually felt some sort of hope and felt like somebody actually is in it with them, resonates with them, but then also praying. So there's so much here. I never forget now. And okay, I'll end with this one. One of my best friends. He's like a brother to me now. Before I met him, he was a producer that I followed, and so I never forget when I went. He had a big house on the hill. The former mayor of Atlanta took me to see him back when he managed me as a music producer, and so it was all of these things on the surface that I saw. And I was just a little kid from Louisiana trying to produce music. And I finally got to meet this person whose work I followed. Anyway, went into the crib. At the end of their meeting, he asked him, so what are y'all trying to do? And then he went on and started talking about God and him and his writing partner. And they've written a bunch of hits and we've worked together since then. But him and his writing partner started talking about how they had this, how they wanted to do this gospel project and all this other stuff. And man, I wept like a baby that night and the next morning, man, because it was, I didn't know that you could actually enjoy music and live this lifestyle and still love God or have a heart for God. And it was just this eye-opening thing. And I know what that meant for me and how that changed my trajectory and everything that came from that. But so my point is simply, we're talking about this as it's trivial, but just that prayer being in the midst of and at the very end of maybe some ratchetness, maybe some whatever, and it being a culmination. I think somebody mentioned it like, oh, this, I think not Rob, Colin might have mentioned that this was like it was basically a story of whatever, and it came full circle to, and now in fourth baby mama. But the point of the matter is that for it to be at the end of that journey, to have all of those girls following that album and listening to it, and then hear a moment of hope, hear a moment of God, that might be the first bit of God. That might change the trajectory of their life. And they already, the mistake, you're right, but the mistakes are already there. The mistakes are already done for the people who are resonating with this.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm just
let me-
simply
let me
saying.
jump
Then, if that's the case, then
real quick, Rob.
then pray for the ones that they don't make that same. They don't continue the mistake. Go ahead, Shaheed.
No doubt.
Yeah, real quick, Rob, before
But
you
see,
jump.
and Sierra couldn't do that though, because people be like, "Well, you already did it," or whatever the case is. She's not the one to speak to that. She can only speak to the journey that she has.
Of course, she can speak to that. Are you kidding me?
She can, but no, she can. Wait.
What?
We can all speak to a bunch of stuff, but people not listening to her for that. They'll go to somebody else for that.
Who?
So yeah,
If not her, who? If not Sierra, talk about my mistakes. If not Summer Walker talking about my mistakes, then who? But go. You know what? I don't. I keep, listen, we keep stepping on Shaheed. We keep stepping on Shaheed.
Right.
Go, Shaheed.
It's like, so with the whole Sierra's prayer thing, let's take prayer out of it, because it's like, it sounds like me and Shan are attacking the fact that this woman prayed to God. No, we're not doing that. It's the message behind it, right? So the message that I get from it is you can do whatever you want as a young woman. You can fuck up, you can do X, Y, and Z, and then you just ask for this blessing, and then boom, you just wait for it to happen to you. Cool, whatever. So my thing with Sierra, and it's just like the position she's in, and I feel like at this point she's exploiting the damn prayer, because it's like this prayer, like I said, it's been around for so many years. Sierra is the best woman to actually be an example to these women and say, hey, this is what I did. This is what you can do to get what I have and be in the position that I am in. But
she's doing that.
How? Where?
The prayer. Maybe her journey started with the prayer. Maybe
have a baby. Ladies, have a baby. Right. Pray God for the baby, and then say your next man.
So this is what we're doing with Sierra, right? It's like me, it's like a kid, right? Why are we championing Sierra right now? It's like if a kid touched the stove 9 times and burned himself, and then on the 10th time he said, you know what? I'm not touching that stove. We would say, about fucking time. We're not gonna say, oh, I'm so happy for you because you didn't touch that stove on the 10th time.
It wasn't 10 times for Sierra.
But and oh my God, you guys are using the points. I can use each one of those points. You want to use a kid touching the stove? Yes, you give that kid encouragement. It's about time you learn, but you do it in a positive way as opposed to a negative way, because we oftentimes better react to positive reinforcement than negative reinforcement. Some of us need the negative. More often than not, a positive reinforcement is better, even if you mess up 10 times. But the prayer, let's use
what
kids
do you
again.
Reinforce?
Right. The touching of a stove in that example. But if we're using a kid, and the kid says, you know what, when I grow up, Lord, help me to become an NBA player. Lord, lead me to the path of becoming an NBA player. What's going to happen is it sets that mind frame into saying, you got to go to practice. You got to
No. You know what happened, Rob? Because I used to be that kid. And the coach set me down and broke down the numbers and said, 1 out of this many players actually get to the NBA and yada, 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 yada. And they gave me that breakdown. They didn't just let me say, oh, I hope I go to the NBA.
But do you know what happened? Like, you know what happened? You prayed that prayer and you took your ass to basketball practice.
because somebody set me down and said, hey, 1 out of every 300 players at your position in your grade X, Y, and Z. I couldn't just say, oh, I'm six, whatever.
Right. Grade. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is that prayer is literally setting you on a path to push yourself to where someone can sit you down. So just by saying that prayer, God's gonna saying, don't limit God. Don't look at me and limit God.
That's why I want to remove the prayer element, because y'all trying to make it like, oh, relying heavily on God.
Let me put it like this.
It's a prayer.
Why y'all thumping the Bible? Why y'all thumping the Bible?
I'm gonna take prayer out of it.
Why y'all thumping that Bible? Well, hold on. Before you go, we got Joel. Hold on, guys. Before you go, we got Joel, the middle child here. What up, Joel? Yourself muted, Joel. Okay, you unmuted it, but somehow your audio ain't working. So you gotta hit the settings on the screen and make sure you. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Is it on now?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. I think this whole thing is funny. But like maybe I'm being a little facetious, but I see the irony and it's a bit of an oxymoron, because I'm not too familiar with the prayer in itself, but what you guys are saying is the whole thank you for my baby, now bring me a baby daddy thing. You guys are
That's
on
what I'm
point with the
saying.
whole.
I'm saying that.
It's more
Nobody
than
else
just
is.
a prayer. Yeah, it's more than just a prayer. Like, you got to put the work in. But I want you guys to think about this. Think about how hilarious this is. We're talking about a group of women, the ratchet, of course, the ratchet hood rat black women, whom their moniker has been for years. Yeah, who their moniker for years has been, I don't need no man, I'm strong, independent, et cetera, et cetera. And I want you guys to notice how that's starting to change now, to where now you got them championing this phrase saying, thanks for my baby, now send me a man. So now they're praying for a man. Like, y'all don't see the irony in that?
Yeah, I do.
And how it's
I do. Because they didn't need us at first. The prayer originally was, give me the strength. The original prayer before the Sierra, before the Summer Walkers, when I was in college, was give me the strength so I don't need no nigga. Give me the strength that I will be able to get my degree. I will have the discernment to make sure I pick the right job, not the discernment to pick the right man. That I just have the discernment to pick the right job, negotiate the best salary, and that I'm able to get my master's, and I'm able to work hard and do all the work and put in all the hard work and sweat to get to get through grad school and to get my doctorate. That was and then give me the strength that I don't ever need a man, and I want to learn how to do everything that he knows how to do, so I will never rely on him. That was the original prayer. And so whose
original prayer was that? You're acting like there's one woman, like all women are one woman, and they all have one prayer, and it's always been the same prayer. Crazy.
It's always weird. You see, I noticed. So it's there's two groups of people who do that. One group is women, and the second group is men who champion women in the terms of, well, everybody, they're not all a monolith.
Wait.
There's always who said that? What are you talking?
You double talking. Go ahead.
Listen.
No, don't go ahead.
To the blue pilled simp army, I'm speaking to you. To all you motherfuckers from the Federation with blue lightsabers, I'm talking to you. There is no absolutes. I don't know why we got to keep repeating this shit week after week. There's no absolutes.
You're operating in the absolute. Like, you're literally speaking into an absolute that's what the prayer is going to do for everyone. When all I'm saying,
only niggas that's triggered, that's triggered think that I'm talking about absolutes, and I'm talking about everyone.
We have years. You literally just said that the original prayer.
There's no need for clarification.
No, Rob, it's measurable. It's measurable, though. We can.
Are you kidding me?
We can do a social experiment, and the numbers will come out in our favor. It's measurable. We don't have to say, "Oh, you're talking to that." The numbers say this.
No, wait.
Say who? I don't see how you can conclude that the numbers say that.
Wait. What are we talking about?
I tell you what we talking about. I said my man Joel came up on the screen and said the original prayer was, I don't need a man. We know that black women from Generation X that taught the Generation X mothers that taught the millennial daughters, you don't need a man.
Right.
Now you're saying, well, wait a minute. You talk about all black women?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen. We're talking about Sierra, and you're talking about wait. Look. You're saying that Sierra, you're acting like her prayers, like that original prayer. I get what you're saying, because I know, and I know what you're saying, because it's true.
Then you're not following what you, because I'm speaking of what Joel's talking about. So that if you don't know, if you do, either you do know what me and Joel is talking about, or you don't.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, but here's the point, though. But now you're trying to attribute that to Sierra's prayer and make some comparison, like the prayer was this and now it's that. First of all, all
Wes,
our prayers should get better.
Wes, you could take music culture. If we go back 10, 15 years in music, the culture amongst women was, I don't need a man, I'm independent, I can do this shit all by myself. Now we move to today's time, we talking about Sierra's prayer.
Sierra's prayer, praying for her husband. I don't understand the disconnect here. What's the disconnect?
Our prayers should get better, should be better. Our movement should be better. We should evolve. We don't have to be stuck.
That's why he said it's ironic. That's why he said it's that's what we're talking about.
I get the irony. The irony for all of us is you make a mistake one day and you doing whatever as a man, we doing our thing, and then we one day, and then the next phase of our life, it's ironic that now we want a woman like the woman that we've been dissing.
It happens with us too. I'll give an example with men.
So,
with men, here's an example with men. Back then it used to be get money, fuck bitches, we don't care about these hoes. And then now it's just like, where are the good women at?
And to that point, and this is the point I'm making, Shan, to your point. By the
don't
same
use
token,
my example though, because that's not what you said.
But my
don't, yeah, because don't use the example, because that means you need to argue to yourself. Don't talk to me. I was talking to. That's why Joel is laughing. He's like, that's literally what the fuck I was saying. But as soon as we put it on men, hear your fucking ass, hear your Federation Obi-Wan Kenobi ass come up talking about, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
But no, my point is,
it should have been the same way when we was talking about why you didn't get it when we were saying about women.
You ain't let me finish the sentence. The point that I'm making is
let me be the first to say, Wes, you're not about to come in and Darius us, okay?
Listen, all right, listen.
We was about to close.
No, we wasn't. Chris, you tired. Chris, we ain't tired. We West Coast. All four of us West Coast. Let's go.
Let me make one point.
I'm not.
Look, the point is this.
I'm tired.
Let me make this last point. The point to what Shahid just said, what I was going to say was, it would be the same after his example. It would be the same as if a woman then said to us, "Oh, now," and this is the key.
She can.
Let me say this.
She can.
Yes, she can. But it would be but how much sense would it make for a woman to say after all of that? Oh, now he talking about he want a woman that's a good woman.
Perfect.
When he whatever. Yeah, that's
perfect.
How we go.
That's perfect. Right. It would make perfect sense, Wes. But it would make perfect sense. Now what?
That would be to say what I'm saying it to you. How you gonna be mad at a person wanting something better or evolving from one? You want them to stay in the same place? Because the other thing that was said, I think by both of y'all,
Wes, that wasn't your argument. Wes, stick with your argument after Joel was talking. Your argument was talking about you making it seem like that was all women. What women? Who are you talking about? Who was singing that prayer?
No, you hung on that. That wasn't the argument I was gonna make.
That was the argument, Wes. Stop it. Now you're moving the goalposts. Let's get back to Joel. He's driving.
Listen, the point I was making. Go ahead.
Let's get back to Joel. Let's get back to our caller. Let's get back to our caller who was simply saying. Let's get back to the caller who was simply saying at one point.
We talking, but he ain't gonna listen to Wes. So Sam gonna be quiet while Wes talking.
We're gonna get back to Joel, who called up and said, "Hey, do you guys hear the irony in this prayer?" Where they were once saying, "Yo, we're independent." They sang the independent song. Destiny's Child was the anthem. They sang the independent anthem, and now they're singing. Let
me jump in here with this, and it's not even Destiny's Child. Right after the pandemic hit, and it was March, it was Hot Girl Summer. That's how recent it was. And now it's, you know what? Hot Girl Summer's over. I need a guy.
Along with Kevin Samuels being mentioned in track number 7. How the tables basically Joel is saying, "Oh, how the tables have turned." Are you guys seeing this?
That mention was cliche sign language. The shame, insult, guilt need to be right, where she's shaming people that follow Kevin Samuels, which is essentially the high value men he talks about, because we already know it's not just a bunch of bums and scrubs that follow Kevin Samuels. It's men in general.
Yep. I don't even know why there was even any pushback brought up when Joel was talking about that. It was once they were talking about we don't need no man, and now they're saying, "Lord, please bring me a man, and I'll pray that he's the best man and he's all of this." That's all Joel was saying. I'm not sure why any of us on his panel has pushback with that, but apparently two of us did. Yes, you did.
But my issue has always been a pushback that y'all have been saying. Y'all
I'm looking at
criticizing them for moving to a better place. You're criticizing
now
having a prayer.
Now, let me, and Joel, I'm gonna throw it back to you, but before we go there, I have to bring up something. Carla said it would be dope if Ask a Black Man would make a counter prayer for men to make wives out of women before they make them mothers. Here's the thing about it. I would not make a prayer for men to make wives out of women. I would make a prayer for men to be better men. I would not make a prayer for men after his ass and ran the streets, made 4 baby mamas to turn around and pray for a wonderful wife. I would be on that nigga just as much as I'm on this Sierra's prayer. I wouldn't tell no man to sit around and say, man, after I done made me some couple baby mamas and I done robbed a few people and I just want to give me a good wife. Lord, thank you for my 4 kids, but can you bring me a dope wife that knows how to be a submissive woman and love everything and do everything I need her to do? I would be like, nigga, are you crazy? That's the prayer that you gonna pray? You got a whole lot of shit to pray for before you get that far. Let's pray to make sure that you get your shit together first. That's what I would tell men. But men have no problem keeping men accountable. We do that. It's when we talk about women that there's an issue. And of course, then and we got the Federation. You know, we got Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker that also has a problem.
And neither one of us saying that women don't need to be held accountable for the prayer. Like the prayer in itself, yeah, we agree. Like, yeah, you're not holding yourself accountable. You're not saying, you know what, I got to do my due diligence. But what we are suggesting is that just that spark of thought will sometimes lead women to say, you know what, I need to work on myself so that I am prepared for when this do comes.
You're giving women,
and y'all just blowing that out the water just to the prayer because y'all looking at the prayer
because they had the opportunity to do that. We've given them 20 years to do that, and they fucked it up. So now don't even pray. Don't pray for a husband, ladies. Stop praying for a husband after you made a mistake. Instead, pray to fucking straighten yourself up first, and then the husband will come. Work on yourself. Pray for yourself to be a better version of who you're supposed to be, and a husband will come. But if you're sitting around here trying to manifest a husband to come out of the fucking heavens and suddenly through osmosis and wishful thinking that you're going to get yourself a Russell Wilson, then you might as well buy a dog and die alone.
Basically, all you
buy a dog and die alone. Work on yourselves.
You got to do the work.
Pray for the strength that you become a better person. That's because that's what I teach men. I don't teach men to pray for a wonderful woman to come up in his life and he's fucked up. No, I teach men to be better men. I think Carla wrote in there, will say that prayer. That's what we do. That's what men do. I want these young boys to be better men. The women is going to come. The money's going to come. But they got to be better. It starts within. This Sierra's prayer is saying, thank you for my baby. That's the most precious gift. I hope that you give me a better husband. I'm going to follow you. I reverence you. So I'm a queen. You see the screen that I froze it on right here, you guys? I'm a queen. She says that I'm a queen and that I deserve to be treated like one. What? A queen of what? What are you a queen of?
Affirmation.
No, you know what's funny? You know what's funny though? Listen to what Shan just said though. This is something that we as men, young men, have been hearing all of our lives. If you had good male mentors and role models around you, the women are going to come. What that means is you had a male figure in your life and they're straightening you up. They're trying to build you up, get you in shape and saying, if you fix yourself and you get your shit together, the women are going to come. You don't have to worry about anything else. You fix yourself, the women are going to come.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What's behind that? What's behind everything you just said, Shaheed?
I think that's another podcast.
Oh, because I can go. I can. Where do I start?
No. Listen.
With that being said, I wanna thank you.
Talking over you.
What's his name, Shan, for coming up? We want to thank him for coming up.
No, he might have more to say. Because I shut him out.
No, I'm just saying I wanted to thank him for coming up. Joey or
Joel.
Cole. Joel, there it was. Joel, thank you for coming to Ask a Black Man Anything and coming up with us and joining the conversation. I think that this is a perfect segue, and we can lead into that next week as to what is it that men should do. So bring your pens and pencils and papers and such, and bring a friend the next time you come, right? So that we can talk about what things that men should do to be better men, right? I think that is we need an hour at least for that. But that we don't want to do it in injustice by giving you shorthand. We want to definitely be able to bring the entire army to the table so that we can address it. With that being said, we want to thank you if you are currently on Clubhouse for staying with us as long as you have. We appreciate you. And next time, join us on YouTube. Just click the link at the very top of the Clubhouse. You can join us live on YouTube and join us in the comments. With that being said, gentlemen, let's make your outros. Mr. Longmire is going to go to you first.
But no, hold on, Chris. I just said that Joel is still here. We stepped on him. He may have more to say.
Oh, okay.
And then I think Jerron had something he wanted to say. Jerron, you there? Is Jerron asleep?
I was going to be quick. I'm just going to say, in regards to her actual prayer or celebrities' prayer in general, one thing we need to stop doing is folks need to stop praying for other people's life and situation, because at the end of the day, we don't know or have a clue what's going on behind closed doors. So although she may show us on the outside at all, everything may be seeming like it's all great, but we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So people only show you what they want you to see from the outside. So I could go back to saying, instead of praying for somebody's particular situation of prayer, pray your own prayer. And that's all I got to say. I'm done.
No, but to that point, Jerron, that's where Wes and Robert make sense, because some of these people have never prayed before, and at least, and I think somebody in the chat said at least we getting. I think it may have been Carl. I'm not sure. They were like, at least they getting the women to put their hands together. So, because if it wasn't for this, they wouldn't be praying for nothing at all. So I agree with him in that point. Yeah, say your own prayer, but if you don't pray at all, pray something. Goddamn it! And if you're gonna pray something, pray this.
Can I be heard? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Colin.
So the point I was making with Shaheed was, I asked him what was behind everything he said, and basically it was action. You got to put action behind that. So everything he mentioned about the men, about just do what you need to do, and the women will come. That's action. We got to do work. So for y'all just to say a prayer with no action behind it it's pointless. Because God is all powerful, but He's not going to move on behalf of you if you ain't even willing to move on behalf of you. So you can't say, God, please go give me a job, and then just go sit on your hands like, well, I'm going to just sit here and wait for Him to give me a job. It's like, if you ain't actively putting in applications and working to polish up your resume, getting your resume together, then it really is just a pointless prayer. You got to put action behind it. It's not just enough to say, just bring me a man, bring me a stepdad, please, the baby, my baby, and father my baby. You got to put some action between learning from your past mistakes and bettering yourself to put yourself in a position to find a man that was willing to accept you with a child. Like I said, there are men out there that will do that, but you got to put some action behind that thing.
So really quick, Shannon Collins. See, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I believe that I'm not picking on the imperfections of the prayer. I don't believe it's a perfect prayer. So I agree with you, Shannon, and Shannon. I don't believe in the I hear the imperfections of the prayer. I just come from the perspective, or I choose to believe that the prayer is the possibility or the start of someone actually looking at themselves and saying, hey, I do need to start performing. I do need to look at myself and begin those actions that are going to lead me to be able to, for God to be able to bless me. You know what I mean? So,
well, to be honest with you, Robert, I wasn't really poking at you. I'm poking at Obi-Wan. Tonight, you kind of, I'm with you actually with what you're talking about tonight, and I caught it then. It wasn't until Obi-Wan came in here swinging that goddamn lightsaber that made me go off. What up, Joel? Joel, you're on mute.
Yeah, I had to rejoin. I froze out.
No, you good now.
But I did have another question, though. Give me one second.
We caught the irony that you was talking about. Yeah, it was, we don't need a man 1 year, and the next year it's, Lord, please bring me a husband.
Yeah. But the other question was, you guys were talking about the men focusing on themselves, and I would like to actually focus on the reason why the men aren't focusing on themselves. Because from my personal experience, there's too much overvaluing of sex, especially in the black community. And I know it's been used as a tool. I believe there's like a Russian document where they shown how they were able to control their population with drugs and sex and whatnot. But it's like, in the black community, of course, there's a gynocracy, so the women rule, and one way women tend to rule and manipulate is through sex, especially when it comes to the men they're interested in. And growing up, I found it interesting. If you think about the puns, like the shame, insult, guilt, what's the first thing they challenge? They challenge your ability to get women. They call you homosexual and stuff, essentially making you void of future women. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to kind of ask the question, like, what has been you guys' perspective on the overvaluing of sex in the black community?
Well, I'll go first. In the black community, sex is the number one reason why black women seek out the men that they seek. And it's only in the black community do they put that on as almost the number one value. If we were to be able to peek into some of these Sunday brunches with women, if we were able to go out and if we were able to be one of those endless mimosas sitting on the table with a microphone and listen to the women, you would realize that sex and the performance of men sexually, black men in particular, would be one of the number one conversations. Joel, I don't know if you was on my show the other day, but I was talking about this, and I was talking about how important sex is to black women above and beyond the other things that are really super important that other cultures actually put as first and foremost. And then to add what you're talking about, they turn around and use that as a weapon. Oh, you can't put it down, or you ain't shit, or you ugly, or you dusty. What other culture has the term dusty? Is there an equivalent term dusty in any other culture? White, Asian, or Latina, or Latin? There is not one. There's no other term. There's no equivalent to the term dusty. We're the dusty ones. We're the scrubs. I don't want no scrub, right? So the thing is, sex is like one of the most important things, to the point that women will travel the world for it. When you think about Stella Got Her Groove Back, think about the movie Stella Got Her Groove Back. She only got her groove back after she got taken to Pound Town. She didn't get her groove back because he was rich. She didn't get his groove back because he was well spoken or tapping in her intellectually, not initially. She got her groove back because he put it down in the bedroom. And so as a result, sex is really valued kind of high in our community. For men too, because look, I can't absolve men from that, because men talk about how, listen to our music though, Joel. Listen to how the shit that men talk about. I'm fucking. I can fuck for hours. I'm ready for round two. Just give me 10 minutes. We all put sex up on the. So it's not just women, it's men too. But men don't use it as a weapon. Women use it as a weapon against men. Even though we both put it up on a high pedestal, women use it as a weapon.
I will say this, Chad. Some men do. Because remember, most of the men today, they're raised by women in the black community. So there are instances where, say, two guys don't get along, and they'll go straight to, of course, there's a your mama joke, which, of course, there's a reason for that. But the next thing they'll go to is, you ain't getting no cootie out here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You ain't got no bitches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't got no bitches. I don't know. But I believe so. To answer your question, I'll let the other brothers speak. You're asking about what do we think about the importance of, and why do we do they even believe? Does anybody else on the panel believe that sex is put up on a pedestal way above, character or economics, jobs, things like that other people put? I don't know, but I know we actually do that. I know women do it specifically. If you ask women, what do you and your girls talk about? They gonna want to know how that nigga put it down in the bedroom.
Yeah, I'll be quick. This is a tricky question because it's twofold. Like, I think sex has been extremely devalued and cheapened within our community, but then at the same time, I think it's been overpriced, because it's just like, I tell women a lot, like, yo, if you show to a man that your most valuable possession is what's between your legs, what else is he gonna want after he gets that? Like, if you guard, I tell women all the time, like, I have sex with you before I sit down and let you pick my brain and have, get a hold of my intellectual property. Because, you could get a quick 30, 45 minutes out of me in the bedroom, have a good time. But I might say some shit just in the middle of a conversation that unlock some shit you've been trying to get a hold of for the last 5 years. And now you go off and make millions off just something we said in conversation. Because I value my intellectual property. I value my emotional, my feelings and X, Y, and Z more than I do what's between, with my physical body. And I'm not saying it's cheap or anything like that, but it's just like, once you put sex as the highest thing that a man can get, he don't care about your heart. Like, he don't give a fuck about having your heart. I got what you tried to protect the most. You showed me that's the peak. It's like, it's obviously the base running analogy. Why the fuck would I care about going to first, second, third when I'm hitting home? I hit a home run. I don't care about a double. It seems like, so I think, you know what I mean? And then now today, it's just like, you have to be extremely careful with, like, you look around, the way, like, and I'm not going law of men from this, because we are animalistic in this as well. But if you look at the women visually, how they present, what else are we going, this is what you selling us. This is what we, you know what I mean? And if we say something like, you can't tell a woman how to dress, you can't tell, you know what I mean? So we have to be careful with that. So, I mean, I think that's extremely important.
You know what? Before the next guy goes, here's something that's interesting. This is for everybody that's championing the Sierra's prayer. They tie in together. Joel is asking about how important we place sex. And I'm saying specifically for black women, sex, right? Check this out. I'm going to swing back to the prayer and I'm going to hit the play button.
That example, Wes, this would be the equivalent of a rapper killing somebody in a music video while a prayer is going up.
Yeah, they do that too. Yeah, they do that too.
No,
absolutely. And I can give you some records that where that's done. Yeah, absolutely. And some music videos. That's my point. Yes, there's a contradiction there, but some of these guys, some people, some artists just, they haven't graduated to, they haven't evolved to a place where it's like, oh, my visuals and everything has got to make sense. For some people, this is their starting point. And Summer Walker is young.
Don't take it off
but
the
it
screen.
all goes back to why
don't take it off the screen. I like it what I'm seeing.
No. Listen, Joel, you remember where I talk about? We call it, what do we call it? Whataboutisms, right?
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, even these rappers, why do you think they're doing what they're doing? Talking about the dope game, but we all know it's already over. Talking about murdering and doing all this stuff. They're doing it because the ratchet hood rats, that's what they condone. That's what they like. And guess what they get from it? They get more sex.
Whataboutisms. That's what we call it. It's tantamount to not all.
That's not all about it. That's just a fact of life. It's just being hypocritical and calling out people. Listen, people are people. They are where they are in their journey. And once upon a time, I was at a place in my journey where I prayed for things, I wanted things, but the actions behind them are the visuals that we see here, for instance, don't match up with that. And then you get to a place where you're like, oh,
it matches. Watch this. It matches. And I hope and pray that each one of my kids take their full sexuality to God and have a conversation with him in prayer. Hey, this is me. This is where I have messed up. And this is where I can be better.
No, but Rob, it's There's no sexuality in the prayer.
Yes, she's sitting. Y'all pointed it out.
No, we're pointing out. We're pointing out the image the layout she chose to put the prayer on top of.
Okay, but to me, how you guys read that, for me, what I would read into it is she's even bringing her sexuality into it. She's even bringing who she is, all of herself is coming out into that prayer. They can't give the full prayer, so they gotta give nuggets somewhere.
Woman is trying to sell albums, Robert.
I'm not going to deny that. I agree, but at the same time, it's not just about that. If we want to look at it and pick at it for all the negative, there's also some good in it as well. I want my daughter to say, you know what, I feel that comfortable with God that I can come to you in my nakedness and have a conversation with you and not feel ashamed.
In my nakedness? Oh, you mean in her lingerie?
In her nakedness, in her lingerie, however she got to do it.
This is not.
I'm for it.
This
in
is
her
not
edible
coming,
underwear. Make sure she goes pray, make that prayer in her edible underwear.
To involve God with her sexuality, I'm for it.
This is not coming to God. This is on YouTube. This is not like
that's on YouTube, but it's on YouTube, and it's on YouTube in a God come to God moment. Hey, I'm coming to you in prayer. And matter of fact, I just got out the shower, and you know what? This is what's on my heart, and I'm gonna go ahead and pray. I don't know, but I'm saying like we looking at it and we picking at every single instance of it, as opposed to saying, you know what? There is some good in it. Y'all just picking out all the negative and saying, you know what, it don't make sense, and it does look like a contradiction because you're looking at it from a man's eyes. Women,
no. I'm looking at it from a community standpoint, not just from men. I'm not coming from a male's point of view. I'm coming from what message are you sending, and how long do we keep doing this shit? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, if you're gonna make a prayer on your album where you telling motherfuckers to switch a nigga out, right? And you saying in the name of the album is still over it, and basically all these titles that's just saying this is relationships are shit. And then you turn around and we know what's important to get our community back on track, because we are derailed right now. This is a derailed fucking culture in terms of relationships. 60% goddamn divorce rate. 80% single parent homes. We are derailed in our relationships. And then this is the album you drop. I got it. That's your you're singing your truth and all that kind of stuff. I got it, right? This is what you're doing. Even though you saw all the red flags, the shit was cool before you got pregnant and had the baby. It was all fun and games, party, smoke, drink, fucking travel, have fun, fuck, do all of that kind of stuff. And you knew the ramifications of that, but you did it anyway. And now after the shit is already done, ladies, learn from my mistakes. And by the way, I'm going to sing a few songs. I don't want you to switch a nigga out, and don't worry about it. You'll find a better nigga. You can do better than that. And then, oh, by the way, if you do make a mistake like that, sing this prayer. Pray for your baby, and then tell God to send you a husband to take care of y'all. That's what you do. That's the message, man. It's just that simple. And and by the way, wear lingerie when you do it.
Facts. I get you. I get you, and I hear you. And I meant to ask you earlier, when was it that she said learn from my mistakes? Was that before the album, after the album? When did that part come out?
That came after the album on her Instagram.
See, I kind of wish they would have came out hand in hand, because you can learn from a person's mistakes without them actually expressing everything that they say. We can all see somebody who's on drugs and say, you know what, I don't want to go down that path. So it's not that they told us specifically that they did crack. We might have, they didn't tell us in specific, but we can see that, we don't want to go down that path. So what I'm saying is, somebody might look at her life and say, you know what, I'm actually going to try to learn from her. And where did she go wrong? So now they're going to digest it themselves. And they may say, you know what, she's out of order with having a baby out of wedlock before
that wasn't okay. So here, I brought it back up for you. Here's the thing. And this is it.
Let me get to that.
That was not what she was telling people to learn. That wasn't the mistake she was telling people to learn from.
I don't think it's just.
I wish it was
not just one visual thing, right? Or go ahead. Let me hear what it says.
She says, "Take this opportunity to learn from my mistakes. You don't have to guess if something is love." She was talking about love is shown through actions. She was talking about her boyfriend. She wasn't talking about the baby, or she wasn't talking about. She stop making excuses for people who don't show up for you. Don't ignore the red flags, and don't think. You have to stay in a relationship, basically. Stay somewhere because you can't find better. Girls, you can and you will find better. Don't settle for less. You deserve it. And neither does your family.
Y'all don't find it crazy that this prayer didn't become a big thing until after she got what Russell was in? Like the prayer, nobody gave a fuck about the prayer until they believed that, oh, it worked. So now let's focus on this prayer. But the process after the praying, nobody gave a fuck about it. So that's just in itself is just like, it's like this prayer might as well be a magic trick at this because it's just like that's how it's needed. It's like, oh shit, the spell worked. Let's jump on Sierra's prayer.
I hope it turns into something where people just ask more questions. Because I mean, I definitely see y'all's point, but I hope it's something where people say, I'm gonna say this prayer, and I'm gonna ask more questions. Like, what else did she do? Because I know that wasn't it. I didn't say this prayer 18 times, and I done ran into 18 more dudes who wasn't my dude. So what else?
That's why I believe it's a part of that is Sierra's responsibility. Like you got not the whole, but you got majority of the community of Black women looking up to this. Now it's your time to really break down the details of your process and what you went through.
So here's how that happens though. You got to open up a door, right? So we got all these people that follow Sierra because of these younger girls who didn't necessarily know her music, but follow her because she's got Russell Wilson. They've heard of the stories and they know of her with Future. A lot of women only first knew of her as being Future's baby mama before they knew the artist or heard any of her music. But you can't get you can't stuff someone with everything in one sitting, which is the whole gateway aspect, which is think about all the girls. Like, so we may very well in a week, in a month, in a year, see Sierra with a platform for all these young girls who first discovered her, knew of her in the social media realm, then really discovered her or got into her because of what Summer included on her album. And then she has an opportunity once these girls are there in order to really share with them in full length and in full breadth exactly what her journey has been and all the missing pieces and all the nuances that it took to get there. And to you and Shan's point, all of the things that should be better about how not to even be in that place. However, some girls are already in that place. So the only thing you can do to speak to them is coach them out of that place and give them some hope. So, but you can't do that. That's exactly my point. You cannot do that in 4 minutes. That might be a 4-hour session. And if you get too preachy to some of these girls, you turn them off. And so this is the best way to say, hey, sis, I feel you. I've been where you're at. There's hope. Here's where you begin your prayer. And then the rest of that journey is going to start. It might not even be Sierra. It might be that little seed opens them up to hear something from someone else that they wouldn't have listened to prior to that, but now they're open. So now they can hear their auntie who's been trying to take them to church or just teach them about men or whatever the case is. Now they can hear someone else because there's a gateway. They've been opened up to it. And that's what this is. And as Shan said earlier, yeah, it's look, if some of these girls, like I was the one that said, look, if some of these girls, this might be the only prayer they heard or the only time they ever thought seriously about actually praying. And if you're gonna start somewhere, I'm happy wherever you start. And it's even, and I'll say in our end, even from a standpoint of, because even if you take religion out of it, there was the scene in Higher Learning that I thought was so dope. Not Higher Learning. Oh God, the shit with Morris Chestnut, Boys in the Hood, where damn, I forgot his real name. The guy that played Rock in the TV show, the ball game, Sutton, Charles Sutton, when he was talking to Cuba Gooding Jr. about his son who was a Muslim, and he's at school or whatever, and after class or something, and he said to him, "Look, I don't care if it's Jesus or if it's Allah, whatever's gonna make him a better man, I'm all for it." And that's the point. So it might not, it's this is not even a religious thing. It's like these girls are need to start somewhere. And so whether that message was a prayer or that message was something, some positive affirmation from somebody else, just something to start the process, to start the journey. That's all.
Joel, you still there?
Well, it starts in the home. It starts in the home where the man and the woman is present, where the father and mother is present. That's where it's there. That's where it starts. Not letting her get experience and then, hey, we'll come talk to dad after you've had these experiences. It's just like, no, teaching them from the start what the consequences of these kind of actions will do. So it starts in the home, starts in the community before it even gets to this point of what we've been talking about tonight. That's where it really starts.
But it's already there. So what? So then, do you tell anybody else who didn't have
so
that?
You help
didn't start there. You have no hope.
You don't just put a vague message out there like, "Hey, women."
It's not vague.
Ladies, it's all right. It is vague.
If you're saying that everything is vague unless you have
going into a circle. But what is Summer Walker's message actually telling people? Like we've been saying all night.
What is her? Wait, what?
You about to get into a lightsaber contest with Obi-Wan, Colin? Stop.
Yeah, and you're not gonna win it.
Oh, Colin, you gonna win. Colin, you gonna win. He just don't stop. He uses the Force to reincarnate. After you cut his ass up, he fucking puts himself back together. Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. He's like, what was the what?
Yeah,
what?
He uses the Force and puts his ass back together, and then keeps coming back. It's like after you didn't defeat it and just destroyed his whole point.
We're just going back in the hamster wheel, but that's what we've been talking about this entire night. Yeah.
What up, Joel? Joel, you just get ready to say something?
Yeah, it was about the whole prayer thing. Like I just got off of kosher, right? And one of the things that somebody just said on that show was now you have an increasing amount of black women actually turning to witchcraft because the church isn't getting them the outcome they desire. So I don't see that prayer. Like the intention behind that prayer, there's nothing religious about it, not in my mind, because she's already made it very clear when she did the insult to, because like I said, she didn't insult Kevin Samuels. She insulted anyone that pretty much, goes by what he says or approves of what he says. She says fans apparently, because I didn't listen to the album, but apparently they say she insults his fans. But let's just be real, we know exactly who or what she's talking about. So that prayer, what it really was a big finger to all the guys that say, hey, if you're a ratchet baby mama, you can't get a decent guy to be, to marry you afterwards. Because one thing Kevin Samuels says is, okay, you should have married your baby daddy, et cetera, et cetera. Like, don't nobody want a baby mama out here. And I plan on making a show because I believe Kevin Samuels, he's to another level now to where he's actually the boogeyman. He's the boogeyman to most of these women out here. Like, they really don't like him. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I turn to the screen. This is one of her most recent videos on her Instagram. This is what she's telling all the young girls they should do. She's showing it. This is the example. Pop it. Pop it. Pop it. And then turn around and sing the prayer. But I hear you, Wes. I hear you, bro.
They're gonna say the prayer at that same night before they go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, we used to do it.
Gotta be in the morning because they about to get sloppy drunk.
Yo, how many of us used to wild out, and whether it's go to church, if that's what's our thing or whatever, like it's a real thing. It's a real fact of life. And eventually you grow beyond that. It is what it is.
I'm kind of tripping out that we really spent hours talking about someone making an effort to pray. I don't think that they did it with ill intent. I think it wasn't
talking about.
Huh?
It wasn't about the prayer.
That's not what we spent hours.
No, I get that. I get that. It's about the messaging and everything else with it. But literally, to me, these two artists came together and tried to put together something that was positive in some way, shape, or form. Yes, at the end of the day, they are still trying to sell an album. They are still trying to make their money. That's what they do. But they're trying to put a positive aspect on it. And instead of saying, maybe it'll do some good, we saying that it's just really ruining the community, which I don't believe necessarily that it's ruining the community. There is some fault in it.
I don't want to stay on this too much longer, but what if Sierra, as an example, came in and said, hey, Summer, these tracks, the name of these tracks and the messages in these tracks, how about we tweak these a little bit and make it a little more, what if she did that?
Not gonna happen. It's the music business.
Exactly. That's my point. So
I gotta hear the Switch a Nigga Out album, because Switch a Nigga Out kind of makes sense. If you got a dumbass dude, yeah, switch him out for something better. That makes sense. But I ain't heard the album. I ain't heard none.
I haven't either. But I'm just saying, just looking at the tracks and the like, come on.
Yeah, but it sound like a toxic ass album. When Shan read that list, that shit sound toxic in the mud.
That's what I'm saying. Just based off that, you said it comes full circle and then it ends like, oh, Sierra's prayer.
But here's the thing. But it's music. Look, first of all, clearly, some of those songs had been done. This and she decided to add this prayer toward probably at the very end of the album or whatever the case is, literally at the end of the process. When you're making an album, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to record this material, and sometimes those albums take a year. Matter of fact, I think my boy worked on the album. Sometimes they take a couple years to get done. And so you get to the the end of the process, and it's going to go forth. So maybe sometimes the only thing you can do is because it was done at one point in your journey and you're at a different place. The only thing you can do to balance out the album or to bring some sort of clarity to something is to add something to the album from where you currently are. That actually might contradict the rest of the album, but it's a process of growth. And you might not, most times you record an album and by the time you're a completely different person by the time it gets released, because it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years later. So
Pimp a Butterfly was kind of like that. It was a whole process of what he was going through at the time. Kendrick Lamar, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying, I'm just saying the names of the tracks.
Yeah, and but that's the other thing. So you start talking about, now you're talking about writers and publishing, and you don't get to just go and change lyrics or change names of tracks. If me and Rob write a theme song for Batman, you can't.
The Cape album.
Like you don't just get to go and change the name or the title or whatever the case is, because that's our publishing. Shahid, you making me seasick though, sir.
Man, appreciate it. I had to go.
Sure.
Go check the barber today.
Joel, what's your last thoughts, bro?
Joel, you whipping that? Hold on, what?
Yeah, I'll be working at night. But my last thoughts, I said this last show, Shannon, is Sierra and Summer Walker, they're on two different levels. The people, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's not even in Sierra's phone. Like, she don't got contact with Sierra like that. The people that's in Summer Walker's phone is Saweetie, the City Girls, those type of, the ratchets. Sierra, someone that might be in her phone is Beyonce. Somebody that actually can show her how to be how she is. And like you guys said before, there is that whole concept of, it's not just the prayer that she did or whatever, because I didn't even know about the prayer, to be honest. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that Sierra didn't make a change or realize her errors. You're not going to sit here and tell me she didn't take some femininity courses or something, or use her money, because mind you, she has her own money. So when people were jumping to conclusions and calling Russell a simp and all this stuff, I'm like, well, do y'all not realize, like, for one, Sierra's one of the most attractive women on the planet. She's already a millionaire. She's got her own money. So, and if he marries her, you're not going to sit here and tell me, like, hey, boo, she's not going to do the same thing Beyonce did. Hey, baby, here's all my money. Do what you do. I'm going to be your housewife. Like, she has not done anything like Jada. She hasn't, like, to be honest, she's more like Beyonce. If you look at Beyonce when she's with Jay-Z, what is she like? She's sitting there. She's quiet. She ain't doing nothing because she's in her feminine. And I see the exact same thing from Sierra when I see her around, Russell, because it's not her saying crazy stuff. People are talking about, what was it, that interview where he was talking about how important she was or something like that. I didn't see a guy that was. I saw a guy that was pretty much, you know, getting a few brownie points, saying what he knows is politically correct. Like, I don't believe it was just a guy like who was like, oh, she's my everything. Like, no, it's like, you know, I might play around with my wife, be like, hey, boo, you know, you're the head of the house or some crap like that, or you know, you rule everything or something like that. When really she knows behind the scenes, I run everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was one of those things where it was a playful couple. It wasn't serious, but people take stuff out of context. But Summer Walker and Sierra, two totally different levels.
And for me, that's where Summer linking up with Sierra. Maybe she did get a number, but that's for Summer's growth. And you need those friends. You need those people who are up above you so you can grow. I hope that's what's going on, because I hate for Summer's next album to be in the same vein.
All right, fellas, I'm about to clock it on out.
All right, Mr. Collin.
Good discussion, too.
You taking it home, Shan? We into this?
I see the growth in Summer Walker. Does everybody see the growth on the screen? I see the growth.
Oh Lord.
I see the growth.
Yeah, I gotta exit out to actually get to it.
Definitely see the growth.
I see the growth.
Hey man, it's a process. We're all a work in progress, man.
Boy, y'all motherfuckers, man. I'm glad you guys bring balance. You bring balance. Women need cheerleaders too. Women need cheerleaders too. Hey Joel, we appreciate you for pulling up, bro. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your insight. I appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. I'll be live. I'll be live in the morning. Hopefully you can pull up.
Hopefully, I've been sick this past week, but I'll hook up with you.
All right, man.
Be safe, brother.
Sierra's prayer. Sierra's prayer. According to Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker, this prayer is necessary because one is bringing women who probably otherwise never prayed to the Lord. And two, what else they was going to talk about? They only had 2 minutes. They didn't have 4 hours or 4 days. So this is the best they can come up with. Yes, I got you, brothers. I got you. We appreciate everybody for pulling up and hanging out with us here at Ask a Black Man Anything. We do it every single Thursday evening. We've been doing it that way for 16 weeks. We've only missed 2 weeks. Out of 18 weeks, we've been here 16 of them. We appreciate you guys hanging in there. Thank you to all the regular folk. Thank you to the super chats. Thank you for listening at us. Go back and forth. You know, I tell people all the time, the reason why we talk about celebrities is not so much because of the celebrities themselves, but we use them as an example so we can speak through them to you. We use the celebrities so we could speak through them so you can kind of assimilate them to maybe situations in your own life. Some of the women that's watching the show is a Summer Walker. Some of the women that's watching the show is the Sierra. Some of the guys that's watching the show is the London on the Track. And some of the guys that's watching the show is the Russell Wilsons. Not sure who you are. You know who you are. But this is what people think of you. Figure out who you can identify with more. Sierra, Summer Walker, Russell Wilson, or London on the Track. 4 baby mamas. And this is how generally people think of you. And do you need to improve or are you good to go? Shaheed is in the house. Wes is in the house. Robert's in the house. We appreciate you guys. We will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Was that a dig?
Yeah, I'm about to go say.
He's doing the due diligence, the proper respects.
I'm about to go say I'm gonna go say Stedman's prayer right now before I go to sleep.
Oh man,
Stedman's prayer. What's Stedman's prayer?
Give me a Oprah.
Give me a Oprah. Give me a Oprah, Lord. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. Thank you for all 5 of my baby mamas. Thank you for letting me get out on parole. But Lord, I pray that you bring me an Oprah. Lord, I pray, she didn't even say no shit like that. She just said, thank you for my unplanned pregnancy. Please bring me a Russell Wilson. So the male equivalent of that is, Lord, thank you for allowing me to beat that murder case. And I appreciate my children. I'm not going to name the baby moms, Lord, but I appreciate the baby. But may I please have me a Oprah Winfrey. Please send me a Oprah Winfrey, Lord.
Make a
Big Oprah, little Oprah.
Please send me a Halle Berry. I need her to be a millionaire. I need her to be rich and famous, wealthy, and sexy and fine.
Yo, wait.
Because I'm a king and I deserve it.
Hold on.
Because I'm a king and I deserve it, Lord.
Raise your hands high. Yo, wait. You've never had a woman cook for you out here in these streets?
No, I have. I haven't had a woman cook for me in years.
Right, well, that's what I mean. Really?
Yes. Yeah, man.
Oh.
They don't cook, West. Women don't cook today. They do not cook. And they proud. I don't cook, I don't clean. But let me tell you how I got this ring. They singing that shit. They putting it in the music, West. But I can't talk about it because I'm Shan when I talk about shit like that.
Yo, I don't know, man.
They got the WAP, West. They got the WAP, and they don't cook. They don't clean.
I done had a
but they gonna tell them how you got
brother.
that ring.
Yeah, I done had a tasty meal or two, man. It's yeah. I get it.
Nah, man.
It's a struggle.
I don't cook, I don't clean. They don't cook and they don't clean, Wes. They don't.
I get
but
it.
They quick.
I get it.
But they want to eat though. But they sure want to they want to go out to eat. They love to go out to eat. They don't have no problem with that.
But hold on, wait. I just had a thought though. They don't cook, they don't clean, but maybe it's because you like them young ones. You like them young ones. That's what it is.
Young models.
Yeah.
Listen. They don't make them like they used to. They don't make them like they used to.
And you don't want them like they used to.
No. Hear me out. But the newer models are a lot safer than the old models. I'd rather drive in a new Tesla made of plastic than an old Cadillac made of all steel. Because I likely die faster.
Just look better.
Oh no, they much safer, brother. They much safer.
Okay.
That's just me.
I give you that.
They much safer. There's trade-offs. Bye, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.